I've been waiting.
There you go.
That's not the right.
I've
That
been
wasn't right at
waiting
all. That's
for
better.
a girl like you.
That's
go.
way better.
But I liked your version better.
I just threw it out there.
Just
I thought
made
maybe,
up a song.
I thought
Started.
maybe I'm gonna remember how it actually
When,
goes.
as soon as you start
and then
singing,
I realized, oh, I am somewhat tone deaf.
He's like, wait,
You're
this
not
isn't
tone deaf.
Foreigner.
He's peeing all the time, though. One time I caught him peeing on my poodle.
Gotta watch.
It was an accident, but he couldn't help it.
But either way, my poodle was still peed upon.
My poodle.
Compelling.
welcome back to the Jack of the Shadows podcast, episode 18, and the conclusion of A Crown of Swords.
Hold on, get your hands up and do it again.
I'm Eric
Crown
VC, and
of
as
Swords.
always, I'm joined by my favorite Siskel and Ebert, Adam and Dave. Say hello, Adam.
You know what? You know what?
You know what?
I grew up watching these fools, and I cannot tell which one is which. I can't.
Well, one's
Siskel
dead.
is the thin one, and Ebert is the heavy set one.
Yeah.
Okay, we all know where this is going.
You're Ebert? Is that what you're saying? Dave?
Right, that's
You're Ebert?
it's naturally what I'm saying.
The
yes.
heavy set one. Okay, yeah. You just confused the two again.
Right.
I don't know what their opinions on movies actually were, though.
That's Adam.
Hey, I guess I'm Ebert.
I thought I was Ebert.
And that's Dave.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought.
Uh-huh.
I'm Siskel.
Together, we are the
You
VC
peed your
boys.
poodle.
And for this episode, we read chapters 37 through 41. And no epilogue for the
No
for A Crown of Swords.
Yeah, not even an ending little throwaway future
Kind of
foretelling.
wild. That's not a section we're actually going to talk about, but that is crazy.
Yeah.
It just ends. It's just the book is done.
Kapoof.
Yeah. Yep.
On to the next book. So I wonder if the next book's going to have like a double intro to make up for it.
I think it'll be a very long prologue, but
The entire book
That
is
is
going to be a
for-
prologue, and it's just going
a
to be
prologue to the
No, two.
preceding book.
That's not
Two
called a prologue.
prologues.
It's called a double long entry.
So this episode, we will
Oh, boy.
cover our chapter. We'll start with our chapter summary, view from Dragonmount, followed by a conversation about our favorite moments of these 5 chapters and what shook your Willow. Next, we'll talk about all things evil and fear of the dark,
Fear
and
of
then
the dark.
a conversation about the maturation of our characters in growth mode.
Ooh, a conversation about the maturation.
We'll
Conversation about the match.
we'll move into kind of talking about where we are in the story with our BA characters and Gangsta Wrap Up, and then we'll cover where this story has left us. We'll move into Happy Trails, where we talk about our who's died in this book, before finishing with our Coplin of the book, Coplin of the week, and who leveled up.
It's a succinct summary.
So without further ado, let's do a Fosbury flop over our favorite mountain in view from Dragonmount.
Fosbury? Who ever heard of a Fosbury?
Spoilers.
I am not.
That's
I might have done the Siskel and Ebert
That's
thing
a bit
before,
of a
though,
mix
now
and
that I think
mash.
about it.
We are the dreamers of the
That
dreams.
is possible.
I swear you've said that before.
Who ever heard
Yeah.
of a Fosbury?
I
I
already
love
said
the
that.
Chapter
Fosbury. I love the
37, a
Fosbury
note from the
flop. That guy-
palace
that
with the
guy's a
dice
legend.
cliff.
No one listens to me.
It's the day after the Festival of Birds, and Matt wanders through the
I think
palace,
you
and
have,
all the
actually.
serving women are making knowing
have-
glances at
We
him.
heard the dreamers.
The
of
dice
the
are
dreams.
still tumbling
Fosbury,
in his head,
What a
and-
legend.
Matt's
that Matt.
Matt's gathered with Nalesian,
Mhm.
Brigitte, Elaine, Tylen, Rihanna, and a few more of the kin to head out of the palace.
He's not a bad boy, that
I
Matt,
heard
but he
you.
pees too often.
During their conversation, we learned Marililla, Saratha, and the other Aes Sedai believe the kin to be lying about their numbers and ages. Rihanna seems to be more than 100 years older than the oldest Aes Sedai.
Like, do we think that's older than 100 years older than what's her Katsuan? Is she the oldest?
That's the way it reads. That would make
Okay.
Saratha really old. My guess is they mean older than the Aes Sedai before
Yeah, I
Cat
would've-
Swain showed up.
That's
but
that was my question.
That
when I was
actually
reading
says
this,
older
is
than the
I don't
oldest Aes
understand
Sedai.
Who is older?
Yeah.
That's the way.
Well, no, they have a whole conversation about it, and the Aes Sedai are incredulous. They don't believe that it's true. Matt wonders
I
where
feel like it
Tom
was
Julin
kind
and
of passed
Brigitte are, and
brushed
Elaine
over.
tells him that they're watching Jacob Carradine. Matt's irritated by the risk Tom, Julin, and Brigitte are taking with Carradine, and Elaine tells him she plans on using at least the next week to finish Carradine while they figure out how the Bowl of Winds works. Matt's not really thrilled about being around Tylan for another week, but that's the way it goes. Beslin then joins the group, making Matt more uncomfortable than he already is. He tells Matt that Nynaeve had returned the night before with some sea folk women, and then Nynaeve appears with Lan. She promptly orders the coaches on the move, though she was
kidding.
the one that they were actually waiting on there. During conversation, Lan tells Matt that he and Nynaeve were married by the sea folk the night before. Another one of these major moments that occurs off screen. Yep. I'm very happy about it.
Yes.
Lan informs Matt of the death of the men he sent to guard Nynaeve on her way back to the sea
Jeez
folk,
Louise.
and the
We
possible
were
presence
married
of Moghedien.
Last night.
Laren brings a note from Matt to Tylan, and Beslin draws Matt's attention to the note from his mother. Matt opens it to discover that Tylan has moved him into her apartments. She adds that she has assigned Rosella to watch over Ulver, since she's been doing such a great job. The chapter ends with Matt reflecting on the fact that everyone will know about he and Tylan when they find out she's moved him into
What
her
does she call him?
apartments.
My
And
little fowl.
He's near tears as the chapter closes.
My little roast
Which takes
beef.
us to chapter 38, 6 stories in the Silhouettes glyph for Dark Friends. It's important because 6 stories is the number of stories that Elaine and Nynaeve thought the building, Elaine knew
thought,
that the building that they were looking for was. So the group from chapter 37 travels to the docks, and Matt's on his
I
way to
love
give
this chapter
Nynaeve a
name.
piece of his mind for keeping his men's death and the presence of
great.
Moghedien a secret when Elaine tells him that Rihanna has explained to her what the red flowers Tylan has sent Matt symbolize. So now Elaine knows what's going on, and she's so upset by the recent developments between Matt and Tylan that she tells him it has severed her oath with him. She blames Matt. Matt tells Elaine it's been Tylan who's been pursuing him and not the other way around, and the daughter heir actually seems amused by this prospect. As they continue to talk, Matt decides to try to give her the Fox medallion to protect her from Moghedien, but despite the fact that, this is Matt's character. This is who he is. Despite the fact that weeks earlier, Elaine would have definitely taken him up on this so that she could study the thing.
That
she
is
kindly returns
so
it to
wild.
him. Elaine says she believes that Moghedien has left Ibu Dar because
I
she
know.
probably believes Nynaeve is dead.
I know.
They arrive
Steve.
at the Rahad, and
It's
Beslin and Nelisian complain of the lack of excitement they think this trip will bring.
That won't last long.
While
Yeah.
walking to their destination,
Right.
we get a sense of the respect paid to the wise women as they wander completely unharmed through the Rahad.
The Rahad.
Yeah, I mean, you get the sense that this place is as dangerous as any place anyone has ever traveled, and these women just walk around without fear, which is great for them. So they finally reach
No
their
kidding.
destination, the building containing the cache of Angriel, and it has 6 stories confirming what the women experienced in Teleron Riod.
Right. It's kind of crazy.
I wouldn't be able to either.
I would be, my eyes would be watering like crazy.
I would just be
Eric,
trying
and
to
I'd
tear
be
my
coming
face
When I
off.
was
Constantly
reading this,
sneezing.
I was thinking about you and the fact that you could not function inside this building because
Right, and
of
I'd be
all the
fighting
amount
a
of dust.
golem.
You would just be shut down.
The asthmatics.
The
You'd be like,
golem wouldn't have to rip my face off. I'd have done it already because I'd be itching so bad.
Entering the building, Matt mentions Moghedien, and Nynaeve yells at Lan for telling Matt about the attack, all the while telling him that she's not mad.
Right.
I'm not mad! I'm not mad at you! I'm not mad! Because it's Nynaeve.
Yeah.
Elaine heads upstairs, and Phaleon and Ispan appear with some thugs, and they shield Nynaeve.
Did
They tell
not.
Nynaeve,
Why?
Thugs.
yeah, well,
Why
they're not
did it have to be
warders. They don't
so
have
annoying
warders with
already?
them. They have a couple of these
Malcontents.
hired guards.
Oh, it's Oh, it's so obnoxious.
They tell Nynaeve that they're going to bring her back to Moghedien.
Bruisers.
But the others can leave.
Did you say
Sunken
thugs?
knuckle lads.
Nynaeve is shielded by those.
Every time Jordan talks about one of these guys that works at the
Yes.
bar, they got sunken
if
knuckles.
you fight too often and you don't know how to punch properly, your knuckles you'll sink. Your knuckles will get sunken in.
And you become a lad.
Is that a thing?
Oh, he does. Sunken knuckle.
Occasionally, he'll use that to refer
He doesn't
to
say
ruffians.
lad.
Yes, sunken.
So with Nynaeve shielded, Lan decides to throw himself at the two Black Aja, and the fight is on. There's a scream from upstairs, and Nynaeve begs Matt to go check on Elaine. Matt rushes up the stairs to see that another fight has occurred here.
Like a scene from a nightmare.
Vanon's on his knees with blood coming out of his nose and eyes, and Elaine lies motionless on the floor. A man appears who moves faster than a Myrddraal and snaps Janira's neck. A small group of men are trying to pry open a door on the other side of the room as the man begins to attack Matt. Nalisian appears, and Matt thinks that they have this thing cornered, but it rips Nalisian's throat out.
Is he moving fast or just slithering?
Matt takes the combatant to the floor and stabs him 3 times, but it doesn't bleed. He tells Matt that he is wanted dead as much as her.
Dead or alive.
He is wanted. Yeah, he's wanted as much as her. The creature of the dark fights on, about to kill Matt when Matt's medallion falls on his cheeks and burns the thing. The man's men then start emerging from the door they had entered with chests of artifacts and disappear around a corner. Elaine,
little love dumps.
Creature of the dark.
Exactly.
Elaine groans, and the dark creature moves toward her.
Dropping
But
little
Matt goes
dumplings
to attack it
behind
with
them.
his medallion.
Little
It flees from Matt.
Yeah, swishy swish. Genius.
It flees from Matt and disappears behind a locked door with no exit.
But
Elaine then
it
rises
reappears.
behind
Elaine
Matt
groans.
and sincerely thanks him for saving her, along with admitting she now has more
Whipping it
totem.
around. Wow.
She mentions
was-
that the thing seemed to absorb the one power in the same way that Matt's medallion does.
Just
Elaine
exits and
swears,
doesn't even leave
surprising
a
Matt,
trace.
and tries unsuccessfully to heal Rihanna.
And not swearing very successfully either.
No, she says the words.
Tall.
She swears, but it's kind of like,
There's not a lot
you
of meaning
rascally
behind it.
rabbit.
She then calls for Nynaeve, who appears
good.
shouting down the stairs to keep someone restrained.
What? Nynaeve shouting?
She goes to heal Janira.
She
but
kind of
finds her
swears.
dead.
I don't even think
She can, however,
swears.
heal tomorrow.
She just says the
Not
words, and she
Alicia,
doesn't
though.
have any idea.
Lan then appears with Sameko, who goes to heal Rihanna in a way Nynaeve doesn't recognize. Nynaeve tells Sameko that her healing abilities will be wanted for study by the Aes Sedai.
Dead or alive.
Yeah. Nynaeve then asks that Elaine look for the bowl.
As it goes.
What she's really doing is she's mentioning this to the woman, and she's also kind of warning her to expect to be badgered constantly about this for some time. Lina then enters, forcing Ispan in front of her, followed by Beslin, Harnan, and some more Red Arms. Matt asks Harnan what happened, and he tells Matt they encountered some brutes and the thing that Matt had fought, down outside the building. Harnan's stab wound is healed then by Nynaeve. So two wise women and 6 Red Arms in total have been killed during the fight. And you'll be shocked to learn that Elaine finds the Bowl of Winds and a few trinkets left behind by their attackers.
The thing.
How fortunate.
Well, I mean, they did interrupt the plot.
The group then leaves with the remaining artifacts. Chapter 39. Promises to
easily.
keep with the dice glyph.
Miles to go and promises to keep in our sleep.
Back in the Terrizin Palace, Matt finds himself in a debate with the sea folk over the identity of the strange man he fought and the need to leave Ibu Dar. Matt's learned from Birgitta that the thing was called a golem, and he's trying to convince the sea folk to flee inland with himself and his friends. But the sea folk don't believe Matt fought a golem. Matt tells the sea folk that if they don't all leave Ibu Dar to work the Bowl of Winds, the golem is going to find them and more than likely kill a few of them before it's all said and done. He can't He can't figure out why he's not getting any help from Elaine, Nynaeve, or any of the kin who were at the skirmish until a little into the debate. He suspects that Elaine, Nynaeve, Tylan, and the kin are playing at some kind of game by keeping quiet, and so he takes a guess at how to handle the situation. Wacky wild stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He has miles to go and promises to keep.
This is such a wild scene.
Matt gets super aggressive with Rennala, Din, Cal, and Blue Star, the Windfinder, to the mistress of the ships, and he begins using insults from his past memories.
The daughter of Sands.
These insults and his Ta'veren luck help him quickly reach a bargain with the Windfinder.
She nearly stabbed him.
After the bargain is set, and in disbelief over what just happened, Rennala says, one day Matt will walk a rope for her.
It's beautiful.
Does anybody think that that's positive?
I
No.
lost my train of thought at that point.
But hey, I mean, with everything that
I do like
Tylan's
the
done
insults,
to him,
but-
I mean,
What on earth? She was so confident for it.
his best leg.
No. It
He made his
Oh,
little,
I don't remember that.
his jaunty little bow.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing
That
about
just
it
means he made a
afterwards,
good
though,
bow.
is the fact that Jordan mentioned that he gave.
He does.
He
says that
what
often.
Does he say
Yes.
about
He
having
likes that
strong
and a
legs?
Give a good
well-turned-
leg and
He said
knuckling
he
your
put out
forehead.
his-
Those
A
are
well-turned
two
calf.
things that, right,
His
yes.
best leg. And then
Eventually,
made a
Rihanna
comment
volunteers the Kin's farm as their place to hide away, and the rest of the group agrees. After the sea folk leave, Matt gets Elaine to confirm that the women's silence during his interaction with Rennala was indeed a gambit to see if Matt would do something to get the sea folk to budge off their
Yes, exactly.
position.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Rennala was like, I think I just made a deal with the Ta'veren.
Yeah, well, yes, she's very astute.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, oh boy.
I highly doubt she's ever had a negotiation go that way at any other point in her life.
Yeah. Happened with Rand and another boat.
But not with Rennala.
No,
That
that's what I'm
was
saying, it's happening
fantastic.
all over
when
the
she
place.
sat
Yes.
down.
Well, it's
And
happening
it
to
was just like
Ta'veren.
that.
Yeah.
Tylan pinches Matt's butt as she leaves, telling him she will miss him.
Calling him the little duckling.
Matt admits he will miss her as
Negotiations.
well. He then joins Tom and Julian, and Tom gives Matt back the fox ring that Matt purchased in the Ibu Dari market. Lopin asks if he might stay to see Nelisian buried, and Matt tells the servant that if he wants to stay in Matt's service, unfortunately, that ain't gonna work.
May I stay?
That's blow by doze.
No,
When Matt returns to his rooms, he learns that
he tells him he can stick with him. He tells him he just can't go to the thing. If he wants to be
he
yeah.
gives him a choice because he
It's an
totally
ultimatum,
understands why he would want to be there for the burial, but Matt can't stick around. The golem is going to kill and murder more of his peeps.
maim and kill.
I really like that part.
Right. I'll give you better work to do.
Yeah.
When Matt returns,
Yeah. You can stick with me.
I find this funny now. Matt has 2 serving men.
Well, right, yes. When Matt returns to his rooms, he learns that Rosella has let Olver head out into the city because he had just he'd done everything she needed to do with him for the day, and Ibu Dar is a safe place for a small child, so it's fine.
Frickin' older.
Well, what is Rosella doing here?
She's tired of being groped.
She seems to enjoy the boy's company. Her back is getting sore.
Can't imagine where he gets it from.
Matt sends Tom and Julian out to find Vannon and the Red Arms so that they can help search for Olver. Nynaeve, Elaine,
go.
Brigitte, and Avienda offer to help as well, but Matt declines and heads out to join his search party. Before he leaves, he has a strange thought about the weather and Elaine, but he can't remember the significance of it. Anybody get what it is?
I don't know if he got that pledge. He got that pledge from Brigitte.
This
Listen
isn't
to
from
Eric
Brigitte.
naming
This is Elaine and the weather.
names.
Oh, I was just saying that he got the pledge from Brigitte, but go ahead. It was before
I
the warning that Nynaeve gave him about the storm approaching.
Get what that is.
Yeah, but this is
do
Elaine and the
you?
weather. So
Oh, I remember Nynaeve talking about the storm approaching. I didn't know Elaine.
yes, of course, Nynaeve is the one who talked to him about it. But he has a thought about Elaine mentioning something about the weather or the two of them being related. And the only thing that I can think of is it's tied to the Bowl of Winds and her desire to control the weather with the Bowl of Winds. But you would have thought that he would be more than aware
Privy to that.
that's what
yeah.
that thing is.
I don't know what that is.
So Matt heads toward the river and begins to hear thunder in the distance. And to the south, he notices black smoke, and those around him are stopping and staring at it.
Here we go, the end of the world.
He heads in the direction of the smoke to discover, what do you know? The Seanchan are arriving on wing and foot.
They're not really gone.
How long did it take you guys to guess that that's what was causing all this chaos?
I think that was the storm.
The minute that he started hearing thunder, and you knew that there was no way that the bowl of winds had already taken effect.
And he's on a port town.
Yeah, I knew it was the Seanchan. I knew it was the Seanchan. Well, it's important.
I think I knew it before.
If they were that far inland, we'd have much larger problems.
Matt shouts for Ulver, admits the developing chaos, but can't find him. And eventually, he heads for cover, but a Suldam brings a building down on top of him.
I like that Dave is bringing the location. Yeah.
Before he's buried by the building's wall, he realizes
they're in a port
the dice in his head have stopped.
Yep.
And maybe his heart will stop as well.
Why couldn't Ulver have been underneath those?
Man, you guys really don't like Ulver.
What is there to like about him?
He's hilarious. He's a lovable little scamp.
No, and lovable is debatable.
Under a building? Yeah.
I do.
Like Bing Crosby in White Christmas.
Yeah, only he didn't have a lovable Danny Kaye pushing him and keeping him safe.
Right, yes, no. There's no one there to save Ulver or Matt.
More than 2. Ulver's like 12.
Oh, right.
I don't even think Ulver's 12. He's probably like 8 or 9.
Matt's still acting like Ulver in many cases.
But much more
Chapter
successfully.
40, Spears.
Push Spears!
The spear and buckler glyph. So we join Galena Casbin, who's been held captive by the Shido for 9 days. She's brought by Tharava to Savannah in the Shido's main camp.
This is like
I don't... Sorry, Dave, go ahead.
No, it's just like a chapter of who do you hate the most?
Who hates who the worst, Adam? Thank you for that insightful comment.
No. I just remember when I was first listening to this, I sent a note to myself, text Eric, who is Galena.
Oh, well,
you had forgotten who Galena was?
Sure, that's okay. That's easy
I did.
enough.
I forgot. Yeah, but then I remembered.
You remember her evilness?
Yeah. But it's wild that this is an appearance. Here we go.
Yep.
You're on a little hill.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Savannah declares Galena Datsang, the despised
big
one.
Pronunciation.
And 2 other
Galena's
wise ones ratify the
that?
declaration.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they have Robert's rules here for just declaring somebody Datsang. It's like there's
it does seem a little
procedure.
specific.
The best part is right after
it's fairly severe though, so
right before that happens, Galena's all like, you'd best remember me, I'm gonna remember you if you don't do, and they're like, you're Datsang, and then that's it.
It seems Savannah wanted to use Galena as a servant who would channel for her and make it look like she was channeling. She's still hyper aware of the fact that she's a wise one who can't channel and really isn't a wise one either, because she didn't go to Rydian.
Yep.
As Savannah and Tharava debate whether or not Galena has been properly broken, Kadar appears with Mycia. It's been 6 days since their last appearance. Kadar has brought them what he claims is an oath rod he discovered just the day before. He explains to them how to use the oath rod as they head towards Savannah's tent. Savannah asks if the oath rod will work on men, and Kadar replies no, but there are things called binding chairs which will work for that purpose.
Does that remind anyone else of the silver chair from C.S. Lewis?
It didn't, but that makes sense.
It did not, but I agree.
Kadar says he will see about getting a few of these binding chairs for Savannah. Savannah still underestimates the relationship between Kadar and Mycia. She really thinks that she's going to free Mycia, and Mycia is going to help her, get the better of Kadar.
Not for long.
Nope. Savannah then asks after the traveling boxes, and Kadar says that he's got them here. He goes on to explain how they should use them immediately because Rand has some clans coming from the north and south and quickly approaching this group here.
Kadar has everything. What is it? Fortunes. What? Lucky Charms.
Fortunes
Fortunes
forecasts. Lucky Charms.
I could go for
Get
some
the
Lucky
How I
dirt
Charms.
feel
with
about-
your horoscope.
They're delicious.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice little marshmallows.
That's how I felt. What I sadly thought about that scene when I was reading this, and I was
That's
like, this
great.
should be a little more intense in my head. But this is very funny.
Stop the coach.
He just keeps pulling stuff out.
Yes,
Oh wait,
sire.
look at this.
They may be
I got
bandits.
this too.
Stop pissing in my ear.
Kadar further explains that the wise ones have been trained to travel and could arrive at any moment, creating, he's just trying to create urgency for these Shido to use these traveling boxes.
Nabaha.
Right, Nabaha.
Narbaha.
Kadar then describes how the
What
traveling
Adam said.
boxes work. They use Sidin. You have to press a red button on the box. It won't work for a few days if a woman touches it.
The soft red button.
And once opened, it stays open for a fixed period of time, enough for a few thousand to travel through it. And then once it closes, it needs 3 days to recover.
He's pretty creative, that one.
I just wouldn't trust that.
Well, the Shido
really?
do, and they're kind
Sure.
of desperate to trust him to be
yeah.
fair.
That makes sense. Plus, he's pulling out all these goodies.
I kind of.
It's like a bunch of gummies.
I feel bad
Why
for
is
Merrick. I mean, I don't normally like the Shido, but like
Mm.
that guy's just going where he's told, and then he's screwed.
Merrick.
Yeah.
Right. So then we cut to Benduin and Darrell leading the Moshane Shido through a gateway created by the traveling box. And while watching, the gateway suddenly snaps shut, cutting those who were coming through in half and quarters and whatever. Merrick is quickly informed that there are clans of Rand's Aiel quickly approaching them, and it appears that Kadar has led them into a trap.
Him and his wife and their son stuck on the other side.
Yeah.
Lared. Lared's the wife, but yeah.
So then we join Samael and Grendel, who discuss the trick that Samael has just played on Savannah and the Shido. He sent
Fool's boxes, or what were they?
right.
Idiot boxes or something?
Yeah, it was called a fool's box, I think, is what
What that other word meant.
Rabaha. What was
Yep.
it?
Yeah, the
Rababaha.
Narbaha.
Narbaha.
Narba. Narbage.
Mm-hmm.
Samael has sent the Shido, some of them in front of Rand's army, and the rest of them he's scattered from Ilion to Gildan. Grendel thinks this action is foolish and considers leaving this alliance with Samael at this point for one of the other Forsaken, but after a comment from Samael, she reconsiders. She
She
asks,
was getting ready to go to Demon Dread.
well, she's thinking about a couple of them, but Grendel asks Samael what he'll do if Rand comes after him, and Samael scoffs that Rand isn't coming after anyone.
Don't you worry about Rand.
What is that about?
He still thinks he's got this allegiance with Rand.
It's
The chapter
know,
concludes
okay.
with Shadar Haran looking over the place that Samael and Grendel have just left. Haran feels a twitch of pain in his back due to his absence from Shale Ghul and thinks to himself, I'll have to get rid of this link at some point.
Are we supposed to feel sorry for him?
Him who?
I don't think so.
No, I wish he'd
like-
stay out longer.
Are we like, oh, sorry, buddy.
Chapter 41.
Go back home.
A crown of swords with the Wheel of Time glyph.
What does that mean?
Buckle up, Buttercup. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. I'm shutting up.
We got characters aplenty.
You're not shut up, you.
Look
Rand,
here.
Rand dreams of arguing with Perrin and begging Matt to find Elaine. He dreams of Pot and Fane leaping with a flashing blade and moanings for a dead woman coming out of a fog. Trying to
coulda killed
explain
him.
himself to all three of his lovers, the voice of Cadswain saying, not to be disturbed. Someone holding Sidin and Min screaming, I won't let you kill him.
I hope she didn't sound like that.
And then he wakes up in his own bed in the Sun Palace with Min and Amis
That's
overseeing his convalescence. Bara Karuna and Samitsu, a slender sister with thick black eyebrows and a wild look to her hair, along with Cad Swain, are there. And some of the Ashaman.
Look to her.
Yeah.
unkempt and disheveled.
Everyone's like,
is he trying to
like this lady over here?
Right. I mean, did she just get out of bed? What's going on here?
Maybe
she
she's
just
been having a
doesn't
good
care.
time. She's been having a good time with the Ashaman.
Right.
Everyone noticed her
Some of the
hair.
Ashaman are there as well. Dashiva, Flynn, Narishma, and Jonan.
All of them. They're all there.
Well, no, there are more
Every last
Ashaman
one
than
of them.
that,
No,
but
that's the
those
only
are
Ashaman
his
he's got,
Ashaman.
yeah.
Yes. Rand realizes he shouldn't be alive because he's seen what Podden Fane's dagger has done to others before. Catswain credits Sumiko, Flynn, and Carilla with performing healing unseen since the breaking and saving Rand's life. She also tells Rand he's been out for 2 days. Rand's stomach grumbles, and after some complaints from the women, he gets up to get dressed. After the women have left, Rand sends the Ashaman to the anteroom and remains there with Min. Min tells Rand she's had a viewing that Cadswain is going to teach Rand and the Ashaman a lesson they will not like learning. Sounds about right. That's what she does, isn't it?
Yeah.
She teaches you a lesson, and chances are you're not going to enjoy it.
Hey, come here, I have something to tell you.
No, I imagine her voice a lot more shrill.
All the Ashaman. Not just the Ashaman with them. All the Ashaman are going to learn a lesson.
Rand then asks after the bargain that's going on with the sea folk, and Min tells him that it's not gone well and isn't finished yet. She tells Rand Marana and Raphella have been asking after him, and she hopes he's on his way to them now in order to maybe turn things around with the bargain and see it to a conclusion. Rand says he will head there, but that's not where they're going right now. And then he goes into the anteroom to talk to the Ashaman. He tells Adley he's surprised the army has reached the hill forts of Ilion and wants to know how. Rand has sent Adley and Hopwill to fulfill this task of fortifying or of attacking these forts. Adley tells Rand that Wyraman has left the foot behind and pressed forward with the horse, and that's why they've gotten there so fast. The Aiel have also run forward with Wyraman because they can't outrun him.
I pulled an Adam sigh there.
Why?
Because Wyraman's
Wyraman's
super annoying.
exhausting. Yeah. I mean, but Rand can count on him to do stupid stuff like this. He's a bad general, and and because he's just so arrogant and foolish.
Yeah, he's a moron.
Adley goes on to say he and Eben started to attack the hill forts and were met by resistance from who they're assuming is Shamael because the man could channel as strongly as Rand, they said.
Oh, boy.
At first, Rand's surprised that Samael would have been there so quickly, but then he realizes that this ruse has been made moot. This ruse of attacking Samael has been made moot by his near-death experience with Podden Fane, because obviously Samael has been aware that obviously Samael would have spies all over the place and probably is aware that Rand for the last 2 days has been on his deathbed there in Cairhien.
Mm-hmm.
Dashiva then questions what the purpose of this ruse is, since Samael will know the moment Rand arrives and will more than likely flee. Adley pleads that this is an opportunity to save the army, and Rand says instead of saving the army, they're going to go there and help them destroy Samael today.
Right now.
Right.
I'm
here,
recovering
right
from
now.
near death, but let's go do this.
Yeah.
I can barely walk.
Right.
Is this a good decision?
No?
I don't think so, but we'll find out.
No.
Rand then asks Min to
Eric,
prevent
it
the Rand then asks Min to prevent the maidens from coming with him, along with Amis and Cerelia. Amis and Cerelia. Rand opens a gateway to his destination, and something crooked skitters across red and crooked skitters across the outside of the void.
Something wicked this way
I didn't
comes.
like that at all.
Yeah,
I
that
did
was
not
weird,
either.
but we get no other, it doesn't develop any farther than that, so that's something we'll have to keep an eye on.
Well, it's like those shapes in the sky that were appearing in I think the second book of the series that were never mentioned.
Oh, it seemed more like, yeah. He arrives at his location near dusk, and Dashiv is confused why they've arrived at this particular destination. It's the camp of Davram Bashir. Bashir didn't expect Rand for another few days, if not longer, and was hoping that they could have more time to arm these men. Rand leads Davram, 9,000 horse and 15,000 Legion of the Dragon. The Saldaean women line up along the side to show their disapproval.
You heard the no prisoners from Lawrence Arabia. No women.
Right.
No women.
Yeah. The women are not thrilled with this.
No, especially Dira.
Yeah.
We will have a conversation about this later, husband.
Rand then opens a gateway to the square of Tammuz in the heart of Ilion.
Tammuz?
Yeah.
You great oaf.
You oaf. That seems light years ago now.
This is the square of Tammuz, but he pronounces it Tammuz.
Rand and the Ashaman then make separate gateways leading to their different destinations while the Saldaeans ride into the city.
Man, this is brash. They just bust in.
Yeah. On horseback. A whoopin' and a wompin'.
Yeah, and a wompin' and a whoopin'.
You think that's what they were singing?
That's what they were singing as they rode into the city.
I really hope they were.
I'm sure Davram Bashir knows that song. Rand's gateway takes him into the highest point in the city, the top of one of the towers of the king's palace.
Does anyone else
Could you imagine that?
You also get the feeling like Davram Bashir's crop is used against him by Dira.
He starts channeling along with his fellow Ashaman, attempting to trigger some of the wards they're sure that that Samael has said about the city. And Rand and the Ashaman then stop channeling so that Rand can identify the channeling of Samael, which he's expecting at any moment now. Time passes and Samael doesn't appear, but then Rand senses a man channeling and takes a gateway to meet him. And Rand and Samael battle.
That doesn't seem like a very wise choice. Just go right there.
Do they?
Rand is going to use Balefire, but he thinks on Catswain's admonition and instead uses a weave he's just seen Samael use. This is the moment, Dave, that you can talk about the red dot.
Hey, look, red dots of death.
Well, it's this streaking lightning that comes cascading down from the sky, right?
No, but it's it's going up.
It's not sniper laser sights, which is what you're making it.
Well, I'm thinking of it. I'm thinking of it like in Resident Evil, where they have like the things that come across in the tunnel where Mia Jovovich is in, and it cuts like that guy in half. But anyway.
I have no idea what that is.
Some of our listeners will know.
So
I'm sure
they fight through Ilion, but then Samael leads Rand to Shadar Logoth as twilight descends. The new wound, Podden Fane, is given Rand seems to have been activated by the city.
Right at home.
Yeah. And Mashadar begins to emerge.
Also right at home.
Yeah. And that leads Rand to consider leaving.
Right.
Might be a good idea. He wonders if Samael...
Well, no, I was just going to say he considered it, but not for long enough.
The allure of Samael is too great.
Yeah. Well, right. I mean, it made him come here on his deathbed to begin with. Might as well see it through now, no matter where it is.
It also makes you wonder.
He had a great time there last time he was there.
Like how much...
This is his third time here now.
Yeah, and apparently Samael doesn't know this. He doesn't know that Rand knows all about this place. If he did, why would he lead him back to this battleground that Rand knows pretty darn well?
He wonders if Samael has left already, and then he sees Trollocs, which he assumes means that Samael's still there, because why else would these things stick around in this place?
I love it that he just figures out what the reason is for all these things happening.
As he's watching the Trollocs emerge, an Aiel woman leaps onto the Trollocs and starts killing him. Ba 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 ba! It's Laia.
Yeah.
From Lord of Chaos, Chapter 19. We thought she was dead.
Sad.
She's alive.
It's just too much.
She's survived a book and a half.
That's crazy.
Great job. Love the fact that you survived in there until anyone else came.
Rand reaches out to her, and she seems to come to herself and flees from him in fear.
I'm sorry, Eric. At what point do you feel like she came to herself?
Well, she starts to recognize. I mean, she knows who he is,
Yes, I know.
and and can recognize him, but not enough to want to fight with him, or either that, or she thinks that he's dangerous. And
I don't think all of her faculties are with her.
Yeah,
I don't think that first and foremost, but also it didn't seem like she was super happy that he was there.
No, she's obviously been affected by Mashadar.
Yeah,
she would have to be.
She's been there for a while.
Like, we don't know how long that is, but
she's been affected by the city for sure.
Like, I just mean the change in the city.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think she's been touched.
The evil itself.
She's touched for sure.
Well, I mean, she
hasn't been Mashadar.
No, she hasn't been Mashadar yet.
Mashadar.
Rand then fights Trollocs and Murdrol.
The Power Watt Ward. 10 times fast.
Power Watt Ward.
Power Watt Ward. Power Watt Sword. I can't even say it slowly.
The Power Rod Sword. He almost falls through a crumbling floor, clinging to the floor's edge as he dangles over a void, and suddenly a strange man who can channel appears and saves him. How convenient.
What?
Who is this?
On Earth.
Who is this masked man?
Yeah, don't know. Seems to be familiar with Samael and helps Rand determine where Samael might be in this crazy city, and because he tells him how he liked to defeat his opponents.
Can also,
The stranger finishes.
I'm very confused about this.
Yeah.
The stranger finishes their conversation by saying, "A great many plans will have to be relayed if you let yourself be killed now."
That's not ominous.
Dippity dappity doo, and I'm gone.
He then disappears without any sign, and Rand also realizes that the man has not used Saidin to weave the bale fire he wove.
Can't feel it.
This is alluding
That's
to
some
something
shock,
not
though.
good.
I was confused. Well, I was confused there if it was the shock that he hit his fire source with the other guys, or if it was because they hit the Shidar Logoth nonsense.
No, it's because the streams crossed. We have a Ghostbusters moment here.
Oh.
And also because there are two different types of the power. Side in and side out.
Okay.
Rand heads towards the Shadar Logoth Waygate, where he's determined Samael will be, and spots Samael. Laia appears again, shouting, and is attacked by Mashadar, distracting Samael.
No.
Boo!
I feel like Samael was distracted even before that, though.
No, this is well, he's not distracted. He's looking and lying in wait for Rand to appear.
I thought it was so interesting that Rand he figured out that he was setting up traps, and then Rand shows up, and then he sees Samael, and Samael is just looking around because he knows that the traps are set up, and he doesn't notice Rand, and then he hears that. I thought that was such an interesting aspect of that you just look at Samael and he's just not noticing what's happening.
He's
he doesn't notice
overconfident.
that Rand is there. Yeah, exactly.
Mashadar's got a hold of Laia, and Rand does the unthinkable and uses balefire to kill her. So Rand willingly kills a woman for the first. Well, no, not for the first time.
Not willingly, but
well, he makes the decision
this
to do
is
it.
Everything he wanted to avoid doing.
Right.
Yes, but this
I
does
think it was the right
bode
move.
better for his need to do this in the future.
Right.
Because he makes this decision very quickly, and he needs to, because otherwise the poor woman's gonna get just exploded.
No, or just live miserably.
No, you
And
die.
also
This is
Mashadar's
gonna haunt him
kill
forever.
you.
Oh yeah.
He can only
No
see
kidding.
a sea of
He
fog.
remembers all their names.
While this is going on, Mashadar is, pouring out of
Everything.
a building in the area, is just pouring out of everywhere. And so he looks back down to where Samael was, and there's just a lake of Mashadar. So he assumes he's dead.
Yeah. I hope he is.
Rand skims back to Ilion. Bashir and the Ashaman are waiting for him in the throne room, and Bashir says that the fighting stopped quickly once the people realized the invader was the Dragon Reborn. That's a good sign. So they're excited about the Dragon Reborn here in Ilion.
They're on
Wasn't
board.
a good sign that Rand couldn't cry though.
Cry what?
Mourning Leia.
Oh,
Leia.
well.
He was unable to cry. It goes back to Rand's hardening of his emotions.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's somewhat important, though.
The Council of Nine and Lord Gregorin den Luceno has been awaiting Rand's arrival. Rand informs them that Lord Brend won't be returning because he was Samael. So the council offers Rand the crown and informs him that because Matin Stepanios has also disappeared, and they think that Lord Brend had something to do with it.
He might have. He was a big influence.
They tell Rand that they're offering him the crown because of the grain that he had sent to Tyr, and Rand's totally forgotten about this. But
love that. Clearly,
it made a huge impact, and I remember, we discussed at the time what a big deal this was.
Yeah.
So Rand is crowned the King of Ilion, and Deshiva shouts out, "All hail Rand al'Thor, King of the world!"
There you go.
Rand takes the crown and realizes that mixed in with the leaves of the crown are swords are swords, and he pricks his finger on one of them.
He didn't fall asleep though.
And as the story ends, we see that the crown of swords is the crown of Ilion, and we get the idea that the common folk had begun to look south and recite the phrase, "The storm is coming." So, Adam, what shook your willow?
I just kind of want to do a mashup.
Okay, go.
I want to do a mashup of what happened to Oliver.
Who cares?
That's not a what shook your willow.
It is a what shook my
question.
willow.
That's all right. Well, I've already answered that.
Go on.
No
one cares.
Oliver?
No one being me.
Yeah.
Why don't you like Oliver?
He's annoying. To this point, all he has really contributed is annoyance and problems. He has not contributed anything solid
he's a
or
child.
good. Well,
he's not going to help in the fighting.
He has won races on his horses, and that's been okay.
Races on his horse.
Yeah, I mean, he's contributed to Matt's coffers. I don't know that he's contributed much to the story as a whole.
He's probably brought some women to Matt because ladies like Oliver apparently, even though he's like uglier than a
What are you mashing this
tree.
up with, Adam?
My major willow. My major willow was going after this bowl of winds worth it?
I guess we're gonna find out.
Well, what do you think it does?
I don't know. Do we know that it actually works?
No.
Well, if it does work, what do you think it does?
Controls the weather.
Okay.
Which was happening at the end of this book, so I kind of thought, hey, is that what's happening? But
the weather is happening at the end of this book?
The lightning.
Oh.
Well, that's channeling.
Right.
That's not the weather. That's a weapon.
The biggest thing would be that it could offer rain in order to grow food.
Or
that would be the biggest thing.
Or like cool things down. Remember, it's been blazing. They're in the middle of winter and it's blazing hot.
Well, rain would offer food.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, lots of
stuff. The best result of it would be that you could actually supply sustenance for your population.
Right.
But are they doing it for that, or are they doing it for we could get this and have it be for war?
Oh, I would just think.
I think they're doing it for both.
I don't know what it would do for war, but
yeah, I think they're doing it for both. Well, I mean,
I just think it's interesting.
Oh,
I feel like this book's end is so open-ended, and that this is something that was built up for so long, and they found it, and we have no idea if it actually works. First of all, and
we don't. Right,
we can only guess at what it's going to do.
Elaine and Nynaeve are pretty confident they can make it work.
Very, yeah.
So, and they were able to use their abilities to find it, or at least get close enough that Matt could find it.
They did find it. It's amazing.
And
they found some other stuff too. So who knows what that other stuff is?
Yeah, but who knows what else they might have found?
Yeah, it was a treasure trove.
Adam, wasn't your willow going to be that Matt misses Tylan?
Yeah, you already mentioned it though. That's why I switched it up.
Well, I mean, I mentioned mine too, but I didn't go into detail about it. We didn't talk about it. I just mentioned it. All right, that's fine. You can do whatever you want.
There's not much to talk about. Matt missing Tylen is absolutely bizarre.
He's a complex character, Matt.
It's not that weird. I mean, I think, or let me rephrase that. It's not that weird to me.
We spent the entire book about him talking about how much he hated this happening.
Well,
until this little bit, little pittance at the end, he's like, "I'm gonna miss you too."
I mentioned that I thought that when you guys were talking about how aggressive she was with him, I mentioned that I thought that if the shoe were on the other foot and he was allowed to pursue her, that he would. It's just his only thing in this whole relationship is that he does not like being the prey. He likes being the predator. And so that's his only problem here. I think that Jordan has done
predator.
No, I don't either. But
let's use the aggressor.
Well, that's not a lot better.
It's much better.
But I think Jordan has done a very good job of describing how attractive Tylen is. And it's merely
it's not a sure he's done that,
and it's merely the fact that we've gotten up to this point that Matt is fairly superficial.
Well, I think that's this whole thing. I think that this is the whole setup for him figuring this stuff out.
So it didn't surprise me that of course he'll miss her because I think
it's so stupid to me.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, all I'm telling you is that there is another way to look at this. It makes sense. It makes sense to me.
I understand what you're saying, but
so my Willow was
obnoxious.
My Willow was the fact that Tom gives Matt back this fox ring. Well, it's a ring with a stone and a fox. Causing a flight of birds to, or a flock of birds to fly into the air.
Where have we seen a fox before with Matt?
Well, right. He's got the medallion, and also
he's been in a couple towers,
and remember that he chose this ring at completely at random when he was following Millie Skane,
which is right in line with him.
And
he was just trying to buy something.
Right. He was just standing at that merchant's tent and looking around. And then when she left, he couldn't get the ring off. Remember? It was stuck on his finger right until he needed to leave. And then it came off. But by that point, he had already agreed to purchase it. I
do remember that.
So this is going to be important.
It's a thing.
It's not going to be insignificant. There's a reason for it, and so we'll keep our eyes out for that coming up.
Well, does that have anything to do with the Sean Chen foxes?
I mean, no, it's ravens, and moons and moons.
That's true. It's a fox chasing away birds.
Right.
Those birds, ravens.
What was yours, Dave?
So yeah, my Willow was the fact that Kadar, aka Samael, has given the Shido wise woman an oath rod from all intents and purposes we believe it to be, which is kind of ironic.
Like now he could have made it in the same form as the oath rod for the Aes Sedai.
Well, if he knows how to make ter'angreal, which I highly doubt he does.
Well, but all I'm saying is it doesn't have to be a ter'angreal. It could be something that just looks like
it could be, but the women will find out sweet if that's the case, because they can all channel and they'll know exactly what it's supposed to do. But if it is, it's kind of crazy to me that they've got one, and meanwhile Tower 2 has been dying to have one to make people actually Aes Sedai, and they don't have one. And this guy just delivers it to like their worst enemy.
I suspect that this oath rod will find its way to Tower 2.
I hope so. I don't know how it would get there because they didn't even know where these people are.
Oh, you think so, Eric?
I do, yes.
Now the question is then...
You got high hopes.
Do we think this is the original oath rod, or are there...
No. Well, what do you mean by original?
The one that's in the tower.
No, I don't. I didn't.
Because, I mean, he could have gotten it from He either could have gone in and gotten it, or what's her face?
Well, remember,
could have gone
we
in and gotten
suspect
it.
that he's even said that we suspect he has access to a stasis box. So he could have, he could have access to all sorts of Angreal.
He could. I'm just curious. I mean, maybe it is the original. We don't know.
It could, yes.
Or
it's also possible that he doesn't actually have access to a stasis box and he is just broken into one of the cellars in the tower and is slowly stealing these things. But they would notice if the Oath Rod was missing. I mean, I have no idea how frequently. You don't get the sense that they're making new Aes Sedai all the time.
Yeah, that's my question is what is going on in the tower at Tower 1 at this point in terms of new recruits? Are they actually using it?
We have
Maybe they
no
haven't
idea.
Noticed it.
We have no idea.
I have no idea.
We can only guess that they're probably they've probably sworn in some more they've oath rodded in some more Aes Sedai
since
Elaine and Nynaeve and Egwene, but
you think so?
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, it's been a year. I would imagine in a year or 8 months time or whatever that they would have to use it. Once, I would think that they would notice that this thing was missing. So my guess is he didn't steal the original, but it's certainly a possibility. It's certainly possible that they go one day to swear in a new Aes Sedai, and all of a sudden the method for doing so is like gone.
People are like,
we can't do it today. It's raining, and we can't swear people in when it's raining. It messes with the reception of the Oath Rod. Yeah, that's it.
Oath Rod? I've never heard of one before.
All right. So, Fear of the Dark. We've got a lot of Forsaken and Dark Friends and Dark Creatures here in these 5 chapters. So
we have a new, somewhat fully developed dark creature.
We do.
Not good.
Matt learns from Brigitte what a golem is, right?
Yeah, he does, but we don't when he does.
So they were created in the middle of the War of Power during the Age of Legends. They were made to assassinate Aes Sedai. So the power won't touch a golem, but they can sense it from within 50 paces.
It's all sorts of bad.
And the reason they move like they do is because they don't have any bones.
It's even worse.
But they're still super strong.
I don't think they have any organs either. I wish that were mentioned.
Right.
Because they don't.
Right.
They have no...
Do we know that they don't?
That's going to bleed out. Nothing's bleeding out when he gets stabbed.
Well, that doesn't mean organs.
That locked
hearts,
room, basically underneath something, I would imagine, or through a crack in the wall or whatever. So, yeah, they can basically become two-dimensional.
I imagine they're like Gumby. What's
their Gumby?
There's once a little slab of clay.
Right.
They're
claymation.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
You stabbed it
also
many
freaky
times.
to fight.
And exactly. Nothing happened.
It's crazy that there are only 6 of those ever made.
There are 3.
And that's too many.
3 male and 3 female.
This is crazy that knowledge is out there, though. Oh, by the way.
And that this thing also survived in a stasis box.
Right.
Just sitting there.
Well, they
waiting.
suspect. Yeah.
Can you imagine
what else is in those boxes?
Right. Imagine opening up a box and finding that thing alive.
A person. Right. Something that looks
like
a
your
person.
Best friend. Could be my best friend. We could have so many adventures.
Evil.
So,
do they have to be bad?
Well, considering they're invented just to kill Chandler,
can
they're not going to think they're going to be good.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Is it like a pit bull?
So, Mr. Golem, we're here to have an intervention.
And considering who we're pretty sure that have made these things,
we want you to know that you've been going about killing Aes Sedai for far too long, and your friends just aren't going to take it anymore.
Let's not get involved with Aes Sedai, but let's just go jumping off buildings, and I'm going to sit on your back.
Anyhow. It also seems, I also got the feeling, though I could totally be wrong here, that like these things don't really die.
Doesn't seem that way.
And Matt definitely gets that feeling because he's not sticking around to try to defeat it. He's like, we need to run away. We need to run and hide somewhere.
And yet it's just that advice is not really followed.
No, well, no, it is eventually. Initially it isn't, but eventually he gets that. Well, they're going to go to the Kin's farm.
Slow getting out of that area.
Well, they have to go look for Ulver.
Well, they were also collecting tidbits.
Well, no. He doesn't realize that it's a golem until after they leave the building. All of this is
I'm
afterward.
saying in the building.
Right. So
the building leaving was a little slow because they had to collect all the tidbits.
Well, they went there for the Bowl of Winds, so you're not going to have gone through that horrific fight for no reason. You are going to stick around to get what you were there for.
I just have a feeling this thing is going to be plaguing us for a while.
I don't.
Oh, yeah, because it doesn't seem to be able to be killed.
And there are 5 other ones.
Well,
hopefully we don't run into them.
Right. We don't. We
maybe they're having babies right now.
Maybe they're in undiscovered.
Well, no, because they say that there are only 6. So something tells me that they can't reproduce.
Right, because they have no internal.
What if they're
organs.
just hanging out in like a colony and they're just procreating?
Well, no, they were all in this.
They can't procreate. They have no internal organs to procreate with.
Stop making up canon.
Oh, interesting. I don't know. I'm here.
No, you do know. We just told you.
Well, I'm new. I don't know. Yeah.
Galena Casbin.
Oh boy.
Has been an Aes Sedai for almost 90 years.
She's a wench.
She was the head of the Red Aja for 20 of that, and the Black Aja for only 5 fewer years than the 20 she's been an Aes Sedai. So
she's very proud of it.
She's been Black Aja for 85 years.
She has seen something.
Next, Alviarin. She is she's next to Alviarin on the Black Aja Supreme Council. She's broken 2 Amerlins and was among those who stilled Swan. So she's been screwing things up for the Aes Sedai for decades.
Was that a year ago?
Was what, a year ago? Swan stilling?
Stilled. Yeah.
I don't think it was a year ago.
That much more than a year ago.
Yeah. But not,
That's crazy.
So
I just think that's kind of nuts that she's popping up here again, and that was not that long ago that Swan had that happen to her.
Wait, you used 2 pronouns, so I'm not sure if which one you're using to refer to Galena and which one you're using to refer to Swan.
Galena was involved with Swan's.
Yes, she stilled Swan.
Sanche.
Yep.
Yeah, she stilled her.
But then she followed Rand. But then she followed Rand as part of the group who were there to take him back to Elida. And then she got captured by the Shido.
Yeah.
And
the journey.
So do we think is she like gonna be, obviously she's under the control of the Shido, but
Good.
is she going to be a malignant force within them eventually? Is she gonna cause them problems? Not that they need any more. Somebody else caused them plenty.
Is she gonna cause them?
I think she's gonna try to, but I think she's met her match.
Okay, well, that'll be interesting to see. The immovable force comes up against the unstoppable object, or vice versa.
I would agree with Dave. It seems that way.
Yeah.
One evil has met another.
I just hope.
This woman has one heck of a strong will, though, is my guess.
But I want her to be squashed.
And why else? Unless it's just, the thrill of the comeuppance here, why else would Jordan put her here? This very, very powerful, important woman.
I guess time will tell.
That's a good question.
My guess is she's
getting all smart with it.
She's going to be problematic.
I don't think she's going to be. I think she's going to be problematic, but I think her problematic is going to be overwhelmed. Because
okay. Well, I'm just saying she's going to cause them problems. I'm not saying that that they won't eventually destroy her, but I think she's going to create serious issues for them. But Samael has already created some serious issues for them. So Savannah has been confident that this stupid little man that somehow wrangled an Aes Sedai into his service it will eventually just become easy pickings for her. And boy, does he use her blind spot to pull one over on her. I mean, he gives her all of this. He gives her this whole puppet show of how these traveling boxes work with all of these instructions to obscure the fact that she is really trusting him, that he has her best interest at heart, which clearly he does not.
No. He has one interest at heart.
Which is what?
His own.
Well, he's causing more chaos.
Yeah.
Did anybody else see this coming?
No, I did not see that coming.
No, neither did I. I thought for sure he was going to use this evil force to his own good. I don't understand what he was doing with them. What was even the point of it?
He's sowing chaos.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I can think of is he's just creating more problems for everybody.
At the same time, though, what he's not allowing them to become a force to maybe disrupt his own plans.
Yeah, but
I guess it makes sense with how it all turns out that he's just that goofy about it, but that's a bad plan.
Yeah.
Well, and
it's a bad plan,
especially for a master strategician,
just,
like he's supposed to be whatever.
Yeah, isn't that what we've been told about him this entire time? Is that he's
a master tactician.
Yeah.
So I would think that a master tactician could find some way to use this incredible weapon.
So weird.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Does anyone think he's dead?
Okay, that's another great talking. The answer to that is no. No, I do not believe he's dead.
I do think he's dead, but I'm really disappointed that this is the way he dies.
You know what? If this is the way he dies, I'm going to be...
Well, Rand never sees it, first of all, and how can Samael not see Mashadar coming down? Like he can travel, he can get away to anywhere he wants to. What's he doing just standing around there?
Well, he's not just standing around, he's focused on Rand, but...
I will say
he's actually focused on Laya.
Yeah.
But the way that it goes, no. Originally, he was focused on Rand because it was set up about the fact that all these traps were going to be involved.
Will you say
that he set up... I'm sorry, you're correct. Samael was there, and there was mention that Samael would be focused on the traps that were involved with Rand getting trapped by them. I could not think of another word by that other than that. And that's what he was focused on because that's where he had his trap set up. And then that whole Laya thing happened. But Rand saw him just greedily focusing on the traps.
Sure, but from everything we know of Mashadar, it doesn't move lightning quick. Well, it has little tendrils that come out, but we've never, but we've never seen those tendrils go like yards or anything. From everything that we've witnessed, they might travel a yard or two. Which means they have to be close. He has to see this thing coming in on him,
unless it's behind him.
You are, yeah.
And it's not the type. It's not like like you can sense it, like you can sense channeling. It's its own thing. It's just there.
But he took it for granted. It seems like. But
he was just
there's
distracted.
No way he's dead.
Yeah, but it's the distractions last moments. This thing has got to have been coming up on him for minutes at a time. He had to be aware that it was there.
No, there was a mention that it started moving like a wave.
Yes, it's pouring down. It's pouring down the walls.
Waves don't typically move slowly.
Yes, this is true.
I kind of agree with Dave that I feel like it moves. It does seem like it moves slowly, but that was mentioned that it was moving like a wave, and he was so distracted.
But
I do not believe that he's dead.
No, I don't either.
There's no way he's dead. And it's very annoying because
really
we've been talking
powerful
about this.
And can't they like? I mean, Rand was fighting Shamael in the air. So can't he jump or fly or something? I mean,
well, Rand, once again, distinctly, the reason Rand believes he's dead is because there's no residue of a gateway.
Right.
And Rand was so weak that if Samael were alive, he would have killed it. He would have killed Rand.
Well, right. That doesn't have anything to do with Samael doesn't know Rand is there. Samael doesn't know where Rand is. Like Adam said, he's focusing mentally on the traps, but he doesn't see Rand. The only person he sees is Laya. So so he sees Laya and is distracted, and then we're to believe that in that instance, Mashadar washes over him and kills him.
Or Rand's blaze that he blew up.
No, Rand shoots that at Laya to kill her so that she doesn't suffer from Mashadar's touch.
Yeah, but doesn't he wash it over the other area as well?
No. He just shoots it right at her.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, Rand doesn't kill Samael. Rand doesn't even make an attempt to. He goes to look to where Samael is supposed to be in order to fight him, and he's not there. He's gone, and it's just Mashadar. And like David said, he's looking for, okay, where did he go to? And he's looking for weaves of the power, residue of the power, and there isn't any.
Yeah. So he would know. He would sense if there's a gateway for him to go. That's why I 100% believe he's dead, because Rand would have known he escaped. The only caveat to that...
That's such a dumb way to have him be dead then.
It's very anticlimactic for sure.
That's
unless the other guy that we can't sense channel came and got him somehow.
Right.
Which guy? Because there are two of them out there.
There might be one. We don't know.
So this is...
It might be the same one.
Right,
so
it might be. I don't know.
Let's talk about that guy or girl. Because that was my guess. David, I think you were alluding to the fact that you think he was using the true source.
Yes.
I thought that he was a female channeler who had disguised herself as a man.
With a lot of physical strength.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, with a lot of physical strength. So I thought she was like Halima and like a reverse Halima.
Oh, interesting. But
she could
so
be
a
one
man
of
in
two
a female
things.
body. So you think it's...
Yes, there were two things that I had in my head. One was that she was somebody that the Dark One had converted into a different gender. That was one of my thoughts. The other thought was maybe she was just a Forsaken who was using a weave to disguise herself, though, and had reversed the weaves. Though we do get a sense that at a close proximity, I mean... Nynaeve and Elaine use that in public, and they're not worried about people getting too close.
Remember, Rand's skin will tingle when he feels a woman channeling. So if it's a man channeling, he's going to pick up on it. When it's a woman channeling, he's going to pick up on it.
That's true, but what the narrative says at the end is that he did not sense Saidin being used.
I think they would have said she sensed Saidar being used. I think this is a true power thing, and I think it's the guy. I think it's that other guy, the guy that holds
the guy with the saw.
Yeah, that's who I think this is. Not
the one that was
Shida Haran,
Mogedion.
The one that was following Samael.
Okay. Yeah.
Samael.
Kadar.
And
not Kadar.
Right. Mycia. Sadar. Well,
the guy
that was following Samael and Grendel.
Well, Shida Haran was doing that also.
And this chapter, yes, which
but the
then
other
leads
one
you
was
to question, has it been, right, Moradin.
That's who I think this is, because they give a physical description of him here, and it seems to match the physical description we got before when what's-her-face, Mogedion, came out of the box and was talking to this handsome-looking man, and that's who Rand kind of just saw here, another good-looking guy who can
I don't remember
channel in a sense that we don't remember how he's doing it.
Handsome.
Okay. Yeah, that's...
That channeling,
That's certainly a strong possibility.
And not only that, he's talking about all the plans being disrupted, obviously the Dark Lord's plans.
Correct.
But what those are or why they are, I don't know.
Well, while we're dealing with some uncertainties, I was also uncertain I'm sorry, I'm backtracking here, but the golem, when Matt is wrestling with it, tells him that he's wanted almost just as much as her. Are we assuming that the her is Elaine?
Could be Elaine or Nynaeve, I think.
Or Nynaeve?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would be one of the two. I didn't know which one.
Neither did I.
That's the most immediate.
I'm assuming Nynaeve because she's the most spicy.
But it could be Elaine because she's also a queen, so...
Well, that would make sense. That's true.
Oh, and also Rand loves her.
Yeah, Nynaeve seemed... I mean, my first guess would be Nynaeve, but Elaine has just as big of a part to play here.
The only reason I'm thinking Nynaeve is because of how powerful she is, and I think that maybe that's just crossed over to...
That would be my guess.
Realize that most people would have thought Nynaeve was dead because Moghedien allegedly killed her. Moghedien thinks she's dead.
Who would have heard about
that, though? No, not anymore.
She won't anymore. Yep.
Well, that all depends on who the golem is reporting to.
Right.
Oh, well.
I don't think it's Moghedien. So who else is it gonna be?
They capture
I think
Ispan, but they don't capture Fowling.
Phalion.
So she could run back and tell Moghedien.
Yeah.
Which is what I
suspect. But I think this golem's from somebody else.
Oh, this golem could be from anybody. I mean, I
not
think
anybody. There are only 6 of them.
Well, true.
No, from anybody. It could be from any one of the Forsaken.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's only 6 Forsaken left.
Right. But Moghedien is certainly going to learn because,
Do we think it's from Samael? And now he's got no one to report to?
Wait, what?
Do we think the golem was sent from Samael? Because if he was, now we've got a rogue golem.
My guess is that the golem was sent by Demandred, but that's a shot in the dark. I don't.
Wait, are you saying like the golem has the code of Bushido that he has to follow his master?
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah,
he's given orders and then sent out to do their bidding.
They're Aes Sedai assassins, so there's always somebody paying the assassin.
Yeah,
or sending them. And then there was one other dark friend here who Shidar Haran.
Yeah.
So
she's always around, that guy.
Just popped up. Just here I am.
Samael and Grendel really need to look behind them.
Right. Well, unless he's disguised by the true source and they can't see him.
So he's using the true source as well?
I wouldn't doubt it.
So do you think that he's the guy who has been following them all along?
No.
So you think there are 2 people using the truth, there are 2 people following these 2?
I think Shidar Haran is I think he is the equivalent of
the Nameless?
No.
Okay.
I think that's Moradin. I think that Shidar Haran is like the Padan Fane of the dark side. He's his own weird little entity that's probably the closest thing you can get next to the Dark One himself, because he seems to be able to do everything. Like, this guy can do everything. He can travel. He's held above the... He's like the Nameless, but he's not the Nameless because he's not one of the Forsaken, and the Forsaken are going to be the Nameless. So it's like he's its own weird little universe within this larger galaxy. And I don't even know. He's something else weird entirely. I don't know what he is, but I either think he's using the true source or something, because he's traveling somehow. He's getting around somehow.
Yeah.
And if he was
he's also surviving better than most of the Forsaken.
Right. If he was channeling,
he's pulling a Moghedien and just hiding.
If he was channeling Sidar,
not a bad idea.
Samael would know, unless his weaves were inverted, which is a whole other matter entirely. But I don't think that's what he's using. And he's like the direct hand to the Dark One.
Yeah, and yet he's...
I mean, that's what Shidar Haran means, hand of the dark. So
is he looking for autonomy when he
I think
thinks
he's just
about
keeping busy. I think he's keeping track.
When he thinks to himself that he should look at severing his ties to
the Dark One.
No, not the Dark One, but to
Shale Ghul. Because think about that. Wouldn't the Dark One want to do that? The Dark One's bound to Shia Ghul. So if he's associated with the Dark One.
But you would think that when he was created, the Dark One would have had, Shaitan would have had the ability to make it so that he wasn't tied to, so that he wasn't tied to Shia Ghul. I mean, he's another creature that he created in the same. He created Aaron Gar and Osengar.
Well, he didn't really create those. He spit those things back out.
Well, but they were dead.
Right. He spit them back out, though. They already existed.
He didn't create the souls.
Right. He repurposed their souls.
Yeah. Yes, from death, wherever that location is.
Well, for their particular case, they went to Shia Ghul.
Yeah, I just think that it's interesting that he's interested in tying in severing ties from Shia Ghul, because I would think that if that were something he needed, he would have been given it already. So if he's interested in doing it, that seems to me to be something separate from Shaitan's plans.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, let's move on to growth mode. So we had a lot of maturity occurring within our characters in this book, I feel like. Nynaeve, right? I mean, we see Nynaeve really.
Somebody's getting married.
Yeah, but I mean, you can be immature and get married. I don't know that that's necessarily a sign of anything. But I
was just throwing out there for fun.
But her ability to let go when she's about to die, I think is a big step. She can channel now, and that I think is directly tied to her maturation, though we still see her emotional outbursts, but they're coming less frequently.
Yeah.
Well, the fact she can just channel on her own is huge.
Huge, but let me just tell you, it sure didn't seem to help in that last battle much.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well,
kind of annoying.
She captures Ispan.
Well, it could be her or the others with her. We don't. That's another thing we never really find out. She's just captured somehow. We don't know how.
Well, right. We don't know how, but we do know that she's able to channel. Initially, she's shielded, and then Lan throws himself at the two Black Aja, and so her shield is broken, and so they do capture the woman. One of them gets away. I'm still interested as to how that occurred. I expected her to come up with both of them. But that's, I'm looking more for like emotional maturity here. Because we see a lot of development with Elaine.
I feel like Matt's gotten some.
Yeah. I think everyone has, maybe with the exception of Rand.
It's Matt's maturation that made me think of this, because we get a ton of it in these chapters. He's constantly reflecting and going, why am I thinking this way? Why do I care so much about Ulver? Why am I so protective of these women?
The relationship with Brigitte too.
Right. Yes. Like he's constantly checking himself and going, where are these thoughts coming from? And we're getting a slightly modified Matt, which is super powerful moving forward.
Oh, I hope so. It'd be great to have a slightly modified Matt, because Matt is powerful.
Yeah.
If he's not getting distracted.
Which,
well,
is kind of its thing.
A more mature Matt is going to get distracted less often, one would think.
Right.
Exactly.
So his ability to focus, is going to be
huge.
Yeah, is going to be really, really bad.
Especially
for the Dark
now
One.
that the daughter of the Nine Moons has appeared.
Right. I mean, like you said, we've seen Elaine mature in the way that she dealt with Matt, and even if it's being forced on her with Toe, nonetheless, she has, and she's accepting that from
learning.
Avienda.
She's learning that from Avienda, which is bringing in emotional discipline.
We've seen it, and like you said, with Nynaeve. Let's not forget Perrin, even though he seems like books ago he was in this book, and just how he's dealt with the whole situation with Rand, and now having to go off and take his people for whatever it is that Rand wants him to do, and just how he rescued Rand, last book and coming into this book and all the stuff that he had to deal with going back there and the politics and his wife and blah, 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 blah. All the main characters once again, the exception, I think, of Rand, who Rand just seems to be trending the way of not emotional maturity, but emotional deadness.
Do you feel like Matt's situation with Tylan, he has matured from it? There's been a lot of teasing by Nynaeve and Elaine regarding how he's handled this whole situation.
Is that teasing?
No, not really.
And does Matt actually learn anything from this, or is he humorously oblivious and just like, it's so why is this woman treating me this way? How can any woman treat a man this way when this is exactly how he treats women?
I think he did learn something from it, because we talked about it, but his relationship with Birgitte.
I don't think they're correlated. I think they're two separate things. I don't think he's learned anything about his treatment of women, or I don't necessarily think he's necessarily treating women bad. I don't think he just has this view of like, he lives in these two very different worlds where I think he's shown maturation in the ways that he was exactly. I don't like how he reacted with Elaine and Nynaeve was great. I think that showed character development and growth there, let's say. But with Tylan, he doesn't get it. And she's treating him probably the exact same way that he treats other women, but it's completely gone over his head. Now, granted, I hope he isn't doing to women what Tylan did to him, because as we already established, and Eric doesn't agree with you and I, Adam, but she went beyond the pale with this whole kind of thing.
I mean, but how much does being what he is help his situation?
Being a Taviran?
Yeah. That's kind of unfair. Whoa! No. I meant he just draws women, and they're like, okay.
Women who are interested in him.
I mean, that is maybe that is a thing. I don't know. I've never actually really thought about that. That's a great point.
It's an unfair advantage,
right?
He should get himself a YouTube channel and just claim to be the Mac and teach other men how to Mac.
Oh, that's true. It's just going out there and.
Yeah, he's
just going out there and saying negative things.
He's just drawing all the right women to himself.
It's not all the right moves; it's all the right women. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, these women.
I don't know that it just specifically to Tylan and that side of his personality. Let's say I don't know if there's been any growth there, but I do think, and he's shown us that almost through every book. He rescued the girls out of, the Stone of Tyr. He didn't have to. He did. He felt driven to do that. And that was different than his normal carefree, I'm going to take care of myself attitude.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now in this case, he went to the girls and was helping the girls, and he, kind of worked along with that. But as is always with Matt, whenever he does that, there is a bit of self-interest involved because he's getting something for himself as well. So I don't know if that answers your question from my perspective.
Is your question answered, Eric?
So David doesn't think that Matt has learned anything from his experience with Tylan. What do you think?
Other than to avoid her at all costs. Hide in closets and whatever.
He's not doing a great job, is he?
No, he's not.
Pardon me. I just caveat here, it's difficult for me to do this without remembering everything. On caveat. I felt like he did mature emotionally from being beaten down that way, that he kind of had to second guess his own actions, but I can't necessarily name an example of that taking place other than what I mentioned with his relationship with a girl that he discovers he could just be a friend with. He'd never done that before. So maybe that's big growth. You think that's separate from him going through all this stuff with her?
Yeah, I mean, I think we would like to believe. I think it's natural to assume that somebody who's been through this would realize the I want to say duality, but would realize the parallel between their behavior and, or I should say, between the way that they're being treated and their own personal behavior when it comes to courting. Let's use that term. And so it's natural to assume that Matt would grow from this, but as I think through it, like, there are no instances where he demonstrates any awareness of the similarity between how he's being treated and how he treats the opposite sex. Like, there's no actual instance of it. We just assume that it should occur, but should we assume that with Matt? He's demonstrated a fairly high level of thick-headedness up to this point.
Yeah. Or it has demonstrated nothing.
I mean, no growth. No growth.
I still love him, though.
Of course. He's my guy.
He's a scamp.
He's my guy.
He's the way he is.
He gets a lot done.
I weareth his shirt right now.
He does get a lot done.
He
does get. He's an action engine like Rand. And then lastly, like, Matt wonders about the dice in his head.
Well,
right?
then what is the point of if you're saying that he hasn't changed? Then what is even the point of putting that in there?
Maybe to prove
we haven't
that he
seen it
changed.
yet. We haven't seen it yet. It still may happen because that relationship has just come to a close. So there's still some time for it to be close enough in the rear view mirror that he reflects on it and realizes something. But
maybe
am I betting on that happening? Nope.
That would be funny if Jordan just sticks it in there.
Jordan sticks it in. I mean, all these characters are going to grow. They can't all stay completely the same. I mean, I think there's some spines to their personalities that will stay consistent, and maybe this is one for Matt. But we know that he's supposed to get married at some point, so that's coming.
Do we know he's getting married?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, he's going to get married to the daughter of Nine Moons. I thought we knew he would get married.
I didn't remember the married part. I thought it was something to do with the daughter of Nine Moons. But you could be right. I just could be remembering incorrectly. To wed the daughter of the Nine Moons. Yes, that's what it was. Mm-hmm.
So,
to die and to live again.
As I mentioned, we have two instances of Matt and his dice here in these last couple of chapters. We have where they stop when he visits Thailand, and then they start again in these remaining chapters. So he's in the Tarzan Palace for 3 days, and they start rolling again.
Okay, good.
So they stop when he goes to the Tarzan Palace. They start rolling again for no particular conceivable reason 3 days later.
Right. So let's jump back into our cast.
When he almost gets killed by that wall falling on him like something out of White Christmas.
For all we know, he did get
Sean
killed.
Chan attack.
For all we know, he did get killed. We don't know. The book ends with him being crushed. From what? The peculiar thing is, why do they start again when he's in the palace? And I have no idea. Because then he gets presumably crushed by this wall and the dice are still rolling. Or they stop and then he gets crushed. So maybe now he's not supposed to be in the palace? Because he got crushed outside the palace and they stop? Or maybe he's alive, maybe he's dead. I have no idea.
Or the Sean Chen in there?
Well, the Sean Chan were one of the reasons why the walls collapsed, because they were creating havoc and chaos everywhere and chaos.
So could that have to do with one of them then?
Maybe.
Being around?
Or them in general? I don't know.
Or them in general, yeah.
But I do think it is significant that they rolled, he went into the palace. They started again, he went out of the palace. They stopped when he was out of the palace. So he needed to be in the palace for some reason, and now he's out of the palace, and they stopped for another reason. So now he needed to be there, and now he doesn't need to be there? I don't know. That's all I got.
I think it's pretty clear that he needed to solidify his relationship with Tylan.
Was it Tylan, or was it the girls being in the tower?
The girls were already in the tower. They were
but
in the
he was
tower
never in
prior
there
to
with
him.
them.
Right.
He was staying outside.
Right. So I don't think that the significant, he spent plenty of time with those women. So him spending more time with them, I don't think is a big turning point in the book. It's Tylan. It's Tylan. Now he had interactions with her prior, but this is when she moved him into the servants' quarters. It solidifies their relationship. That relationship gets solidified, and the dice start rolling again on to the next thing, which is apparently the Sean-Chan. Unless you think Matt's dead. Anybody think Matt's dead?
I mean, he could be. He may not
am
be
gonna
dead.
Burn the next book if he's dead.
He may not be dead, but he could be. I mean, he could
or
be
stand up
seriously
and applaud,
injured. He could be incapacitated. He could get captured by the Sean-Chan. There's a lot of things that can happen there.
Well, I think he's getting captured by the Sean-Chan. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Oh, I do think.
Unless you think he's dead.
That. No, I think he's buried under rocks, but that doesn't mean dead.
No, absolutely
and that doesn't
not.
mean they don't find him either.
The next book is just him.
That's not captured by the Sean-Chan. That's
Well,
buried
when
under
you
rocks.
say they, I mean the Sean-Chan. They find him.
Oh, you think? Okay, I think he may just be buried under rocks and then gets free.
No, it's
who's around who would free?
Book,
so you think he gets buried under rubble and the Sean-Chan don't see him and like pass by and then somebody comes? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not even somebody. He could extricate himself.
That would be weird to have Matt run into this battle just so that he could have no impact on the battle.
Well, realize he wasn't
he
wasn't in the battle.
No,
he was trying to.
He wasn't.
He's trying to avoid the battle. That's what he does.
No, he absolutely wasn't in the battle, but it would just be weird. It would be weird to introduce Matt into this conflict for it to ultimately not matter.
Well, but that's not necessarily true. It does matter because the Sean-Chan are there, and that's probably what's triggering these dice.
The conflict matters, but
because Matt's got a history with the Sean-Chan.
If you're from a plot standpoint, though, you usually really work hard to make sure that somebody is in a position to be impacted by it, as opposed to just like, hey, they observed all this exposition I need to get.
Well, but realize that also he's the one that realized that it was the Sean-Chan coming back before the rest of us, being the audience, or the people in the tower.
He knows who they are, but this book is riddled with conversations about the Sean-Chan.
But he saw them in the wharf and all that sort of stuff. Not the wharf.
Well, I'm assuming we're talking about Matt. He was
down getting chocolates.
Yes, we are talking about Matt. Matt's right. He was out doing his thing. He saw them coming in, invading, saw all the chaos going on. So
no, there was an attack underway.
Right, there was an attack underway. He's the one that witnessed it first out of anyone in the tower. The tower still didn't even know what was happening yet at this point. So, as I point out, he has a distinct connection to the Sean-Chan because of blowing the horn. So he's got that past history.
How does you lost me. How does blowing the horn have anything to do with the Sean-Chan?
Because he summoned the horn people who turned the Sean-Chan back. They're the ones that fought them off and repelled them.
Okay, but okay, that's that bat. Okay, all right. Okay,
and my point
I
to that
would consider that to be an indirect connection. But anyway,
but for me, it has to more. The reason I'm bringing that up has to do with the dice.
Okay.
So there's a correlation between his whatever with the Sean-Chan and these dice. Oh, and by the fact that we pretty much are sure that the Dart of the Nine Moons is from the Sean-Chan. So I think it's all tied together, and that's why I think that the dice rolling and them stopping when he gets buried 100% has to do with the Sean-Chan invading. Now, whether he's going to get captured, whether he's by himself, I don't know, but I think it's all having to do with them.
I just figured he was going to get captured.
Right.
You bring up a good point that he might not.
No. He
might not, but he's going to be involved with them in some way, shape, or form.
It makes very little sense for all of that involvement that you just described of Matt with the Sean-Chan to occur, and he gets incapacitated here. And then for that incapacitation to be the mechanism by which the Sean-Chan pass by him and he doesn't actually get involved with them now.
I'll get you next time.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
We have seen weirder things happen in these books.
I will be shocked if he does not get captured by the Sean-Chan. I think literally there are all of the pieces in place for that to happen story-wise.
Maybe Bestlin comes and saves him because he wears a great costume and gets him into fights.
I don't think anybody's getting through the Sean-Chan.
He gives him mouth to mouth.
Ew, stop.
I don't think anybody's getting through the Seanchan. I think the Seanchan just took over.
Oh no, I agree. But I think Rat's a rogue
by
agent.
himself, like fights his way through.
I was introducing that as humorous, but I think Matt's a rogue agent because
it is funny because it's not possible.
It's not possible.
But Matt is. I mean, Matt is.
He was using a fencing sword.
Of any of our characters, if you were to think of any of our characters, maybe with the exception of Perrin, who is the one character that would somehow find his way out of any of that? It's going to be Matt.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
He's
I mean,
done it
you're right. Except there are like 101 story reasons why that shouldn't happen. Yes.
That's not character driven though. That's story driven.
Well, hopefully they're tied together.
Always.
So that's Matt's story, and as always, Matt has a great story. There's always so much going on with him, as opposed to Rand, who's just on a trajectory to poop.
Time he had
trajectory to poop.
Yeah, fun. Yeah, that's. You think that's what Matt wrote in his journal?
What a grand time!
So sorry to see these last few months go. What a fun time.
I mean. He got something out of it. I'm not saying, but I'm saying.
He did.
Matt's in day one typing out like how the last quarter of a year went, and he's like, "How to consider these last few months?
Hey,
I've been locked in a room and sexually assaulted repeatedly."
He did have some good dances with that barmaid. You know.
Oh, that's true. He did.
He turned a pretty heel.
That was
and
before he got like thrown into a comfortable room and locked in there by Tylan.
And tickled with a feather. Yeah. The shade dancers came in for him.
She was always just getting new ideas.
Right.
She's like, perhaps I'll use that next time.
Right. Yeah. So,
peanut butter man.
Before another thing along the lines, we learn what Matt's weapon is from Brigitte.
The
Ashandara.
Yeah.
So this
Pretty
is
sweet.
a thing. It's not just it's a historic weapon, apparently. Otherwise, I'm assuming that's why Brigitte knows it, not somebody who's several centuries
She was like,
younger.
I found it on the side of the road.
I picked it up.
It's sweet.
I saw a man.
Matt would have been the one who found it on the side of the road. She would have accidentally seen it in a comic book somewhere?
I mean, in as much as comic books were around then, sure.
I read it in an ancient tome.
I mean, that is probably accurate.
She's witnessed it. She's experienced it. She knows
so
what
who
this
had
thing
it
is.
before?
We don't know that yet. Some ancient culture that perhaps died.
Do you think it's so?
Maybe it was the Egyptians.
And no.
Is that racist?
I wonder.
I don't even know. Can I say that now?
I
have
you
no
did
idea.
say that.
I meant the Egyptians,
still
the
around.
real Egyptians. I know they're.
What
they're
other
still
Egyptians
around.
would you have, Matt?
Well, no. I mean, there's a nation called
There's a nation called Egypt.
There's
yes,
this
there is.
That's not what I was going for.
No, so I do find it curious that she knows what it is, but we're not told why and or how.
No, Brigitte is filled with this kind of knowledge.
I know, but it's kind of like, why do you bring it up, but you don't give us the extra bit of information that's really kind of important? Or why doesn't she tell him?
Oh, because
hey,
right.
It's a secret sauce.
No, Jordan.
Secret.
Jordan. Yeah, no, Jordan has. She's putting a little mystery
what was that?
on this now. So
he's
painting this weapon with a little mystery.
Yeah. I
think it'll get.
Sorry,
I want to know.
You can't have all your questions answered right now.
Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah.
Yep. You're gonna have to keep reading.
Dang it.
A couple of other people who don't grow at all in this book are Rand, Elida, and Savannah. Don't see a lot of change in their trajectories here in their personal.
I'm going to disagree with Rand, and here's where I'm going to go with this.
Well, let's wrap up with that. Let's talk about the other two.
Rand up with it.
No,
that didn't make any sense.
That wasn't good.
No, it was not good in any way, shape, or form. But I'm going to keep on keeping on. I think at the beginning,
I'm going to keep talking.
Little
is
tear
what
in
it
my
means.
eye.
And here's where I'm going to go with it because I think this is important. In the very first chapters, when we deal with Rand and the dead bodies.
Wait, we're leaving Rand to the end. Remember?
No, I didn't remember. But okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
So
no, I didn't remember because you said it, and then I talked for 6 seconds.
I was very confused.
I'm fairly certain it was longer than 6 seconds.
It was a little bit longer, but literally I said it, and then you talked and
3 minutes.
forgot it while you were talking.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Hey, I hope you remember it.
You
didn't
got
forget it, right? Yeah.
Let's talk about Elida and
Savannah.
Savannah, our two favorite enemies who never learn.
Do you feel like they're frenemies? I feel like they should be. Yeah,
they totally should be.
Oh, yeah.
They're just
Should
like
hang out.
they know one move. It's screw you. I'm coming through this door.
Not only that, they're like,
Yeah.
I'm right.
the Kool-Aid
I'm
bunch.
right. I'm always right, and no one else is right
Well,
but
and
me.
not only that, but like if you come and talk to me and say something I don't like, I'm gonna kill you.
It's too bad our podcasters can't see us doing these strange little dances we're doing.
I'm
gonna kill you
subtlety.
terribly.
Absolutely no subtlety, very little thought, just bludgeon forward. Bludgeon your way forward.
Those two
This
possess
character
cudgels, and they're
bad.
hitting everyone with those cudgels. And the cudgel says on it, I'm right. Bap,
Right.
bap,
Yes.
bap.
Yes, exactly. It's the cudgel of righteousness.
Oh my goodness gracious.
It should be a baby toy.
It's
It
so
is a baby toy.
The cudgel.
self-centered.
They are babies. They are little. They are giant babies,
are
just
babies,
like with
yes.
this giant spiked bat, and they're just smacking all around themselves.
Smacking all. The funny thing is, like, they've got such blinders on because there's so much that's
This
happening
image
around
keeps getting better. It's a baby with blinders. It's a huge baby
right.
with
It's
blinders.
baby Huey.
In the White Tower.
Gosh. Yeah.
Well, sitting in the courtyard of the White Tower.
Like they can't see
Bumping
all this
into
stuff
things.
that's happening. Like Savannah's got like Kadar and all this crazy stuff.
I get Savannah. She's really angry. What's wrong with Elida?
She's really angry.
What?
The world.
Right. What is it? What happened? What is Elida's backstory that we haven't learned yet that just
She
turned
is-
her into a raging
Because she's just not getting the
mad
recognition
woman?
that she feels she deserves.
Right. That's
And she's
it.
not getting the recognition she feels she deserves because she's a big old bee. Like
she's so important. She is the Amerlin seat, and yet it's just not important
It's not
enough. It's not enough. Nobody else knows that
she
she's
keeps
this
clearing
important.
out rooms.
You know what she needs? She
She
needs a
wants to
whole
be the
separate
Dragon
tower
Reborn.
all to herself.
Right.
Oh wait,
Yes.
she's building that.
Right.
Ridiculous.
You know what'll make her feel better? A whole separate tower all to
my
herself.
gosh.
Except it won't.
No, it won't because
won't.
it'll be something else at that point.
Oh,
Like
man.
megalomaniac to a T. And she just but that's my point. They're so laser focused on this strange whatever they're
On
laser
being the
focused
best.
on
They
being the best.
They want to
Yeah.
be the king of the
or
world.
world domination.
Yes.
That there's literally all sorts of madness happening in their peripheral vision that they can't see and is going to, I'm sure, be their downfall.
I mean, some people would call that focus.
I guess.
Well, it is focus.
It is
as
a
long
form
as the
of
things that are
focus.
going on the periphery don't actually have anything to do with what you're doing. But when they do, it's called ignorance.
It's called Kadar and, all these other Aes Sedai from the Tower 2 coming at you.
Oh,
It
man.
is,
All right.
So they don't. So, but to Rand,
Let's
now that
talk
I can come
about
back to
Rand.
it, I do think he did show a level of growth, especially
Toward the sullen side, he just gets more
me.
and more pouty.
no in the beginning
Well,
chapters
yeah.
with the dead bodies and all that stuff.
He's always been. Well, can give me some detail on what you mean by
So
that.
in the introductory chapters, like he had to deal with a lot. There was a lot of the maidens dying that came to sacrifice themselves for him, and
Yep.
he did his little.
Counting out all the maidens so that he could memorize all of their names and recite them
Yep.
to
His
himself
pouty
in
thing-
the world's longest doom scroll.
His pouty thing they did, but he also did allow. I think previously maybe he might have killed the Aes Sedai, or maybe had someone else do it, or instead he handed them off to the Aiel. He gave them control over that rather than just focusing himself on that. And I think that is a level of growth. I think delegating it off to someone else is not something he's always done very well. He's done it himself, not always to the best end results. And I do think there has been a little bit, not a ton, but a little bit of progression there in terms of him being a ruler and maybe listening somewhere in his head to Elaine and being like, that's what you have project managers and managers for, to handle this stuff so I can deal with the bigger picture and they can handle this stuff that maybe I'm not capable of doing.
So I think it's interesting that you focus on Rand's professional growth, because I feel like Elida and Savannah have both grown very, very, have both grown a lot professionally.
How is Elida grown professionally?
Top of their professions.
Okay, I'm going to call a spade.
Okay, no, you're right. No, that's not.
She sends all her subordinates to get beaten.
There hasn't been a whole lot of that's absolutely true. There has not been a whole lot of professional progression. But
Savannah kills her subordinates.
What we were talking about more about them is
interesting storyline going on with her, but anyhow.
With who?
With Savannah.
What, with her killing her subordinate to make everybody surround and rally around her?
Yeah.
I mean, that's professional growth. I'll give her professional growth in terms of maniacal cunning.
It's upward movement. I don't know if it's I don't. You're right. I don't really think it's professional growth, but emotionally, Rand is stagnant. Rand is
emotionally,
and
Rand
that's really
has
what
issues.
I'm thinking of. So I just thought it was interesting that because you're right. That's another area of growth. Like Rand is becoming a better leader.
He's becoming a better leader.
He is learning how to delegate. He is compartmentalizing his emotional frustrations. Granted, he's putting it in a compartment that he opens every single night for 3 hours.
Right. Go ahead.
I understand where you're coming from, saying that he's stagnant, but we did have a whole lot of kissy face going on in this book. Smoochy times.
Yeah, I'm
it
talking
was
about
little more. We saw more. Well, we saw more. How much? When have we seen this much time spent with the love interest?
Not much.
Yep, that's
Other than Avienda. I don't denying the fact that it's there, but it's there.
Right.
I've never seen someone deny a love interest so much as this guy with Avienda, or her with him.
Right. I mean, it's still happening.
Yeah.
He has. Is that a result of like him changing because remember, these women love him already.
Right.
So has he?
Changes.
That's funny. That's the theme song for Big Mouth.
I don't know what that is.
I know.
Right.
I know. You would love it.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yep. You would
know,
love
I'm
it.
gonna
It's
love
Johnny
it.
Mulaney and
That's
Nick
where you
Kroll,
go.
and it's an animated series.
It's funny. That's what Eric says about this.
Anyway, he has have those romances, have the development of those romances, have they occurred because of any emotional maturity on his part? I think you're right. I think there's probably been some.
A little bit, yeah.
A very little bit.
But hey, I'll take that little bit because that guy has emotional issues. I mean,
yes, and this is what I'm getting to is I'm sick of this man. I'm so tired of the mopiness.
Well, not just the mopiness.
So tired of
it doesn't seem to be getting. It doesn't seem.
No, it's getting worse.
Apart from the relationships, the mopiness, and I don't even know if that's mopiness. It's. Well, the beatings.
It's coming across as mopiness.
The beatings did not help.
Oh, get over it, man.
I don't think you can. I'm fairly certain that's a defining moment.
You were chained up inside a chest for 3 weeks or so. Just get over yourself.
Deal with it.
Yeah, come suck it up, Buttercup.
You know what it is? Pack that away and never, ever face it
Just
ever again.
Lock it up in that chest.
Compartmentalize
and put that chest away somewhere.
Put
Pretend
that chest
that it
inside
never existed,
you.
Rand.
You are now the chest. Yeah.
You will be Ward Cleaver.
Right. Yeah. But
I do think that, but I mean, so
Ward
at the end
Cleaver?
of the, sorry, Dave, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
I don't know the word Cleaver.
I don't know.
Let's leave it to Beaver's
Leave it to Beaver's father.
Well,
he's just saying that all he was ever was one thing, and that's
talking
it.
about a guy from the 50s who fought in the Korean War.
Wouldn't it be the wife that was like
June?
June would just be like.
Don't you say anything bad about June.
June was foxy. I'm not saying
Eric
that.
likes June.
What I'm saying is the fact that she would
Barbara
probably be the one to be like,
Billingsley.
I'm just stuck
Man, I
in a
need to
kitchen cooking.
rewatch.
That's all I'm doing every single episode, and
to
maybe I'll give
Beaver.
some advice. It's ridiculous. But Adam, go ahead.
Oh, now I have no idea what I was going to.
Okay, that does not help our situation.
In terms of growth, with I think there was growth with him and Min at the end.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, I agree with everything you're saying about moping around. But
Yeah,
at least
we're
there
all
was
going
some
to
light.
agree on that.
It's
Yes.
exhausting.
I am tired. Like anytime the POV moves to Rand's headspace for me, it's just like, okay, we're gonna get some story here, but
He needs
I
to
totally
be reading
get,
more books.
But let's logically look at literally what has happened to Rand.
No, we don't need to.
He got
It's
locked in a box.
nonsense.
No, it's bad.
He
It's
just got
bad.
stabbed.
It's really bad
by his arch enemy, the devil.
It's really bad. But you know what? After
That was so easily.
somewhere during the Two Towers, Frodo
Two
becomes
Towers.
unbearable to live with.
He does.
Like these protagonists in these very difficult epics.
Oh, yeah.
At a certain point, they just become. You just go, yeah, your life has been terrible, and I am so sick of being in your head.
That's called a redemption arc, and I hope we get there.
Because
we
but
need
the
to.
sad thing is, like, we're going to have to be in this crap
We're far
storm.
away from the end.
Which is
Yeah.
worse, him or Perrin, for crying out loud?
Perrin's
Good
worse
grief.
because
Well,
Perrin has less
Perrin's
of a
worse.
reason
Right.
to be a moping.
Right.
Well, no, Perrin's
Perrin's
worse
married.
He, made a weird
He has a
choice
town
in his
underneath him.
marriage.
He can talk to
Yeah.
wolves. He is a
Perrin-
wolf.
Well, that's the thing that makes him most frustrated
That
with
makes
his
him
life.
so cool.
Right. He doesn't. He refuses. He will use his uniqueness against
He hates
himself.
his
He hates himself because he's unique.
There's no self-loathing like Perrin.
Oh man.
I don't like my superpowers.
Right.
I got superpowers.
Rand just says, hey, my life is really difficult, and
I've got three
and
women who
I'm just
love
gonna
me.
deal with it.
They're all
Right, and
hot.
they're all
And just
Ugh.
think about it all the time. Whereas Perrin is like, somebody told me I could do something that was different from what everybody else was doing. I hate myself.
Someone told me I'm one of the most amazing men in the world.
Right.
Terrible.
I just wanted to be somebody like everybody else.
I
but
just
that didn't
want to
happen.
pound a stone with a hammer.
Swinging the axe.
Oh man.
Exhausting. And
Yeah.
then
Wait,
he's got
not swinging.
then
the
he's got his
axe. What's
wife
up
who's
with
like,
that axe?
"You're not my
Who
dad."
is the X-Men who is like, I'm a superhero.
Wolverine.
I didn't want to be a superhero. I wanted to be an
Wolverine.
accountant.
Phoenix? That's Phoenix. Yeah.
All right. See?
Oh man.
I didn't know Phoenix
An
wanted to be an
accountant? I didn't know
accountant.
you were gonna
Well,
throw the
most
accountant.
people don't, but she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wanted to be a bean counter.
Man, someone has to be. I mean, the bills got to get paid.
Um,
And on that note,
Rand, yeah.
So Rand,
you can nitpick your little moments of
I don't
like,
think
where
that's
Rand has
nitpicking,
been
though.
nice. Well, whatever. I mean,
he had relationship growth. He had
This segment
leadership
was
growth.
to be me pooping on Rand, okay?
So that's what it really is. But no,
Right.
emotionally, I agree. He's not come
Talk
where
about
we hope he
someone
would
that
go.
can't change his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey now. Don't be
Hey
turning
now,
Don't be
hey
turning the
now.
eyeglass around here. It's time for Gangsta Wrap Up. Gangsta Wrap It Up. I'll take it. So chapter 35, we've got some wrap up of some of Min's prophecies. Some of them have been developed.
Yeah.
Some of them are brand
There's
new.
so many that are out there.
Some we have.
Kind of like Elaine's dreams.
So like chapter 35, Min concluded that her
Egwene.
viewing of the shadow over Rand's
Egwene.
head with the
All of their
fireflies
dreams.
launching themselves into it is a measure of how Rand's battle against the shadow is going. Rand never asks her about this. Rand doesn't ever want to see the scoreboard. Like the
with
scoreboard
Min?
matters. It matters like if it is the bottom of the ninth inning and there's a man on second base and there
And
are
the Cubs
2
don't
outs
bunt.
and the guy who's coming up is the fourth place hitter, I'm gonna walk that guy because I have first base open. The scoreboard matters
Here's
to the
the-
situation.
But I think the issue with Rand and Min is, other than the fact that he's madly in love with her, is the fact that he's madly in love with her. And so I think he gets so caught up in that he has a difficult time coming back to, because every time he's around her now, especially now that they've had, they slept together or whatever, now they've had those moments where it has become less of a, I don't know what the right word is. The dynamics have changed. And they've changed to such an extent that before he just saw her as a friend and you can give me this information. And now he's like, hey, how you doing? Like it's I think that's skewed things. And so now he's not asking for the play-by-play bunt call to move the man over to third for the guy to hit the fly ball and score the run.
No,
that would be with one out. But yes, I got there. So
don't you mess with my analogy.
My situational playing was screwed up there. Yes, but the essence of what I'm saying, I think, is true potentially.
I understand what you're saying. I think that what Rand is running into with his
he also
with
just
how
got
courteous
stabbed.
he is with men, it has been there all along. Because remember, he won't ask men about
Right, he doesn't want to violate. Yeah,
So he's always had that,
and he knows she's got like the dirt.
It's just
you think it's a good idea. You think that he should be asking her?
No,
occasionally, yeah.
I get the practicality.
If you're playing the Masters and you're on the back nine, you're looking up at the leaderboard every once in a while just to kind of see, do I really need to go for the shot right now? Or
have you been watching sports all day long?
I'm just using some analogies here that we're
Dave,
all
can you ask
kind of comfortable with.
We can have
who, us or the audience?
The scoreboard matters. It matters.
If you're playing checkers.
There's no scoreboard in checkers unless you're counting.
Moved
the scoreboard.
Right.
Rook to knight pawn. Now we're on chess.
Seriously, don't you want to know where you're at? Like, am I down? How far am I down? Do I really need to take a risky maneuver right now, or am I in the lead? Can I play it a little safe? Can I play a prevent D?
Oh my goodness gracious! Now you're on to another sport.
Never play a prevent.
Did
D.
he or did he not tell men he wouldn't do that? And the answer is yes.
Yeah,
and that's the answer.
Good for him.
That's the answer.
And my question is why it matters.
The why does matter.
Your resources.
You don't have the answer to the why, except for the fact that he told her he wouldn't do it. And I do appreciate from the fact that he's keeping his word to her to do that, especially now that they're involved.
I think he needs to give her the full court press.
Oh my gosh.
Well, also sometimes
my watch just fell off.
It's better
at that
not
response.
to know.
Sometimes it is better not to know.
And also, half her stuff is like two
ambiguous
feathers.
at best.
Right.
It's the ambiguously gay duo
on
coming
top
into
of a camel.
What were those guys' names? Terry.
Oh, man.
Terry.
It was so good, whatever it was.
Oh man, I can't think of their names. I can't believe it. Use your resources.
I get it.
This is the end of the world type of stuff.
But maybe that's also emotional maturity in Rand.
Maybe.
Maybe, baby.
He's keeping it a promise.
One of Min's viewings is also that Rand will almost certainly fail without the help of a woman who was dead and gone.
Dead and gone.
I wonder who that could be. Adam.
Lanfear.
Don't get my.
It's Lanfear.
Is it bad? I kind of want
dead and gone.
It's not Lanfear. It's Moiraine.
I'm saying she's dead and gone too. She's now reborn into another body.
David goes for Maleficent. Clearly, we need to revitalize the woman who turned herself into a fire-breathing dragon.
I mean, that's my favorite Disney villain. So
that's the woman who needs to come back, not the kindly, sweet, wicked witch of the.
She would not be a wicked witch of anything. She would be all that is good and wonderful.
What about Cadswain? I mean,
Cadswain is
Cadswain's alive,
ridiculously important.
Much to the frustration of all of us.
She just showed up, right?
Yes,
just by being that through 3/4 of this book. Yes,
I know, but people were like, "We thought you were dead."
Okay, fair point. Fair point.
Yeah, but thought you were dead and you were dead are two different.
Sure,
we don't know that Moiraine is dead. She went through that thing.
Okay, all right, I get it. Yeah.
Also,
I'm not there with.
I mean,
you guys
I want her to be this person for sure.
But there's the other thing about men that she tells Rand about having to. That he's going to learn something from Cadswain.
Right. That's good.
That
it's something
he's not
going to be painful.
Like.
Right.
Yep. Sure.
So those could go hand in hand. But
also,
I'm hoping it's Moiraine.
While we're on the topic of Moiraine is the only viewing of Min's that has failed.
Right.
Moiraine is coming back.
Guess who's back?
There's
back again.
There's no way that she's
back.
not.
Back again.
How do you guys feel about that?
I've been wanting it to happen forever, and if it doesn't happen, hats off.
I mean, I feel we got a lot of. Oh boy,
she's coming back. She's got to come back. She's got to come back.
Here's the thing:
like a fawn.
There's a lot of books. There could be other characters we run into that people think are
could
dead.
Moiraine come back?
Yeah,
could
that's
the
true.
light like reincarnate her in somebody else's body,
Oh, I
like an
really
opposite
hope not.
gender's body?
You mean kind of like
Which
kind of like
Isengard
tapping with all the
Erengard?
evil
We've seen
people?
that. Yeah.
I
Or
kinda-
she's a kindly dragon.
By the way, we've never met the creator in this.
I'm not
going
going to say. I'm not going to lie.
Who knows what that
I
guy is
am
doing?
kind of a fan of Lanfear, so
He's out
you
to
know.
lunch. Happy
Me too.
trails to you until we. So we said goodbye to a couple of characters these final chapters.
Some we're missing, some we aren't. Some we don't know jack
Remember
diddly
Janira?
squat about. Nope. I don't even know how to spell that name.
That is the proper reaction. Janira did die in these chapters, though.
I don't think she was the only
kin.
one.
She's the one who had a name.
So more,
There were-
it's like the Star
there
Trek,
was
the
some
Star Trek
unnamed-
guy
yeah.
that all of
No.
a sudden appears.
Right, she's the Star Trek person whose name we knew.
And
A
you're like,
bunch of
that
people
guy's gonna
around
be
her whose
gone.
names we didn't know died along with her, but we knew her name.
But what did she
she's
do?
in the-
Happy
she's in the
trails,
closing
Janira.
credits.
But what did
I
she
don't
do that we
even
knew her
remember
name
yet.
for?
I don't remember who you are.
What, say that again? What did she?
What did she do that we knew her name? Like, her name had significance, but what did she do that gave her name significance?
She was named.
They named names.
The answer
Stop
to your
saying it.
question is
She
she was named during the action. Robert
Okay.
Jordan singled her out.
But didn't give her
He
any.
gave her a name.
Well, she got credits. Like,
yeah,
she
she's in
earned
the
her
closing
SAG
credits
awards.
of this episode.
She earned her
Absolutely.
SAG
We're
pay.
here.
She's
You
working
did
toward her
something.
SAG card. She's got a credit.
Right. More
So-
importantly,
And now you're gone.
Nalesian.
Who?
Who? The guy that's been with us for like 4 books.
At the battle against the Shido for Kyrian, Nalesian was the second to lead the Tyrants after Mel and Rill.
Nalesian.
After the
however you say his
battle,
name.
he and Talamenes went to Matt and agreed that Matt
Talmanes.
was their
I got that
general
one
and that
right.
he needed a banner. He joined the band of the Red Hand and commanded half of the cavalry.
He's been around since
Matt would
like
have preferred that
book
Dorian or
3.
Nalesian, but House of
he's been around since the gambling days in the tower.
I don't know. Yeah,
I know.
He's a good friend of Matt's. Matt has witnessed the demise of one of his chums.
He got his throat torn out.
It's really too bad.
It is too bad. Well,
Gonna
on the
miss that
positive
guy.
side, Matt picked up a servant, a body servant. So there's that.
Yeah, because Matt is really concerned about
My
having
lord.
as many of those as he can.
Well, he's becoming more that
He's
way.
becoming a little bit of a clothes horse.
he is.
Someone's
gotta sew his stitches up.
Well, someone's got to take care of all his coin.
Right.
the Quan.
Not only that, the Quan. Someone's got to also take care of that brat. Which
Over?
Oh my
I can't
goodness.
stand that kid.
We've forgotten about
Well,
Over.
I didn't just. I brought him up.
What happened?
That's
to
why
Oliver?
Matt got the stupid stuff piled on his head because he was looking for that idiot.
Yeah,
he was
what
out
happened
looking for
to him?
Ulver.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Ulver
Maybe-
might have killed Matt.
Why can't Ulver have gotten buried? Let's just end that plot line right now.
You don't kill children. That's
mean,
that's a
someone
bad
does.
that's a bad move as
How,
a writer.
how old is he?
Old enough to be buried
Matt?
under bricks.
No.
Ulver's. I'm
Ulver.
guessing Ulver's
10,
like
11.
8 to 11.
Oh,
What is that?
it's so much creepier now.
Oh,
I
because
was
of his
imagining him
relationship
as
with the
like-
women?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be comfortable with it.
I mean, it's supposed
You're
to
not-
be
you're not supposed-
childlessly amusing. He's
The-
prepubescent.
Why would you have felt better if he was younger?
I thought he was like 15.
Oh,
That
that's an
makes it
interesting
Still
take.
too young.
And you're comfortable with that.
My take
Still
on that
too
is
young.
him being that
You're
old is
comfortable with a
better than age.
15-year-old flirting with a bunch of women in their late 20s.
flirting badly, I might add.
Flirting, obviously.
No, it's
I mean.
not. It's not him that I'm concerned about here. It's the women and how they're treating him.
Okay, fair point. But I think
You
he's younger
think
than
it's
that.
funnier to women if he's more mature versus less?
No, I think he
They're
thinks
just
it's the
being
opposite.
gross.
I'm trying to
either
get a
way.
feel for like where you're at with these It's better the younger he
Right,
is.
agreed.
You thought he was older.
They're
I'm
just
trying
like,
to get an idea of
he's
what world
young.
you're living in.
I'm just going to stick my
that
boobs
these
in his
26
face and it'll be
women-
fine.
I don't think they came across as he's young. I thought it was gross either way.
No, they think it's most of the time when you're getting
they're just joking around.
when you're getting feedback of the interaction with Ulver and women. It's usually the women are laughing.
Right.
Those women aren't laughing if he's
they're
15 or
making comments.
16.
Nothing for nothing. He's motorboating these chicks.
The high school student flirting with his
It's all
teacher is
gross.
not funny. It's statutory. Like it's
That's what one goes to jail for.
Yeah. That's not what's going on here, Adam.
Either way,
It's not freaking whatever that police song is. Don't stand so close to me.
right?
It's not Nabokov.
So they're just goofing.
They're
Okay.
Yes.
they're goofing and goshing.
Well, he is not.
Well,
He's
he's
he
not
is
goofing.
seriously
No,
flirting
he's
with
a
these
perv.
women.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
we
he's
don't,
getting
we
it
don't
from.
know.
He's
He's
not a.
doing
He's not a
he's
perv.
just
He's
following
just,
what Matt does.
Yeah, he
Right.
just,
And Matt's a
he's seeing
perv.
what
He's
Matt's doing.
imitating. Right? Yeah.
He's an inadvertent perv.
Well,
It's a good time job.
He's on his
doesn't
way
have
to
the
being a
same
lesher
intention.
at some point.
He doesn't have the same intention. Happy trails to you, Nolesian. We are going to miss you, and so is Matt.
I think it's
super
a
sad.
massive
I did not
impact.
see this coming.
No.
He was
That's-
an important general.
Yeah. And
Well,
he was
I mean, what,
confident of Matt.
lieutenant?
He was a drinking and gambling buddy. He's been around for books and
Oh,
books
yeah,
and
Well,
he
but
was
books.
the
not
guy
only
that was
he's
there.
trustworthy.
Yeah.
He was really reliable.
Not only that, he's one of the only reliable tyrants that Matt has dealt with.
Or Rand has dealt with, for
Right,
that
yeah.
matter. There aren't many of those
No,
tyrants.
you can count them on a hand with 3 fingers,
They do not like people from the north.
or people with the power.
Wait, that was it? We're not giving happy trails to Samael? Or are we just thinking he might not be dead?
Oh,
Oh.
Adam!
Coming in with the hot take at the last minute.
Yes, absolutely, Samael.
Whoa,
you
look at you go, the
yourself-
golden bees.
Are we sure he's
I'm
dead?
not sure
Adam,
he's dead
you've
at
been-
all.
You've been a proponent of the golden bees for books and books.
I love the golden bees.
Well, I've been the one that, for the
He
last
does.
like
I
couple of
couldn't
books, have kept saying it's obvious that Samael is going to be fought at
Right.
the end of this book, and I've been
Adam,
wrong.
Eric is now stealing your thunder with your golden
well,
bees.
no, I just
Oh, you've loved the golden
He
bees.
has loved
undoubtedly.
saying the
I
golden
couldn't
bees.
remember what they were at the
He
beginning.
got me into loving the golden bees.
I think we should
wouldn't-
all have pins of the golden bees.
I
that'd be
I
amazing.
think that the next football franchise that gets introduced should be the Golden Bees.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're clearly terrifying.
tennis-
It's obvious why Samael
have a
has
Tennessee
adopted
team.
them.
Where would it
Yeah,
be?
as
Mexico
his-
City
as
golden
his
bees.
insignia.
The New Mexico golden
Right?
bees.
Yeah.
I don't think they grow bees in New Mexico.
New
I may
Mexico.
be wrong.
I'm talking
Oh,
about
I'm
Mexico.
sure there are probably killer bees and golden bees.
No,
in
New Mexico has the fentanyl.
I'm saying
Come on,
Mexico,
get it right.
not New Mexico. I said Mexico City.
Oh,
Yeah, Adam's
okay,
saying
okay.
Mexico
Where the next,
City.
team
Mexico-
is gonna be.
Mexico. I don't know how you say golden bees in Spanish.
Neither do I.
wish
I won't even
I
pretend.
did.
But I think this is a great point. Like, so Samael's gone. Samael's
There are
gone.
bees
Yeah.
everywhere, Dave.
Good riddance to bad rubbish. I don't have to hear Adam talking about the golden bees.
Until he gets like reincarnated, right?
my
Because
gosh.
that's what happens to
Yeah,
these
but good
dudes
riddance.
now.
You died
Well,
so
some of 'em,
stupidly.
man.
If he's dead,
That was a battle royale. What are you talking about? They traversed all through Ilion. They went to the frickin' Shader Logoth. That's amazing.
It is a battle
But the
royale, but
end
didn't
of
he
it-
die in a very slow manner? Like
no,
wasn't
it was
He
Go ahead,
died
Adam.
by the creeping death. Oh, I'm
no.
creeping
His death was
Yeah,
Like he
his
died by
death
that.
was not even seen. We didn't even see it because it was distracted by.
Well, we don't.
So
No.
that's
But
how
hey,
he goes out.
Laya was
That's how he goes
involved.
out.
I'm
Look.
fine with that.
They don't have the budget they need for Game of Thrones, Adam.
They have to recreate the
to,
script.
they have to allude to what happened. They can't show the whole battle anymore. They threw all their money into the first 4 seasons of this, and this is
Martinson-
what you've got now.
Martinson can't figure out what to do with the character. He's dead.
You need
That's
to
what's gonna
accept
happen.
the fact that it's going to be a lot of shaky camera work here,
Right, yeah.
and then somebody's going to be dead.
Cloverfield's
I
coming
just-
in.
It's
You're
just
distorted.
the way it goes.
Get it?
Trust the narrative, Adam.
Actually, I don't.
Don't watch the camera moves.
I really don't
Trust
have a
the
problem with
narrative.
how
He's
he
gotta
died
be alive,
at all.
is all I'm
I
saying.
don't. Not only that,
I
because
gotta be
yeah.
alive.
we
I
got
don't
the
believe he's
mysterious
dead.
character introduced that pulled Rand out of like falling into the
this guy.
mist.
Why does that make you? How does that contribute to your?
Because that gives me a greater sense of something going on with Samael. Like there's I don't know yet. We're gonna find out. But it just adds to the fact that his death had a whole bunch of mystery to it. It was played out well. It was orchestrated well. We moved in multiple locations. He's beep-bopping and scapping and doo-dopping all over the place.
Don't you think when we don't see the body, that as readers we go,
show me the body.
I think we've been ingrained. I think we've been ingrained to be that way, but that doesn't necessarily always make it so.
Well, it doesn't, but then that would
that would make you be like, oh, that's the way it's actually supposed to be. He actually is dead.
What do you think, Adam? Do you think he's gonna come back? Do you think he's dead? Let me ask that.
Do you think he's coming back around again?
Is a totally different question.
Mashadar involved with this.
Thank you. That's the word I came up with for the mist, but they're both the same.
I just call it the mosh pit.
We got the mosh pit involved. Oh yeah, no barriers. It was a no barrier show. He was trying to hide out in the corner, and then some fool came up and was like, Samael was hiding out in the corner.
Have you ever been to one of those?
Yeah, Samael was hiding out in the corner, and then some fool was like, you came to the show, you're gonna bleed.
Steel-plated boot and smashed him in the head.
Some fool, otherwise known as the second greatest evil in this continent.
So those who get touched by this thing in the past,
a touch too much.
Well, no, one of two things happen. They either
you die horribly, or you just become this insane beast that has all these weird powers.
Only if you leave.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Only
you have to leave the confines
of
and
Shadar
Logoth.
And I think that entity has already left.
You're right. We have some possibility. No, it's still there. I think parts of it have left. The greater whole. So I think so. You're right. We do have a possibility that he could come back. It's possible. I'm still okay with if that's the way he dies. If he dies, he dies.
I think he's dead. I'm really disappointed with how he died.
I mean, what greater evil to kill evil?
No. I would have been fine with it. Just the manner in which it occurred. It was like Rand looked away at something that was going on.
Otherwise
and then
known
he
as
turned
Laia.
back, and all of a sudden he was dead, and it was like, what? Huh?
Okay. But we have had Jordan has done this before.
I want the death scene. I want the Death Star going.
Yeah. Instead, no. We get that. We get him
those
killing,
sounds.
We get him killing his friend
Laia. So which was that? And that was. That
was great because
I loved her Laia coming back.
Talking about at the beginning
for Rand's emotional maturation or destruction, what was more important, Samael or Laia? Because Laia's going to stick with him
forever.
I
don't care about Rand's emotional development right now.
You were
harping
on that last chapter.
Enjoyment. I wanted him standing there as like Rand was shooting laser beams at him and the fog was slowly crawling down on him and he looks up and he goes, oh, no, my wonderful wickedness.
What a world, exactly. What a world.
What a girl and her dog. That's what I wanted. That is what I wanted, and I didn't get it.
You most certainly did not get that.
I did not. Instead, I got, oh, my sweet Lyda, what dost thou upon that edge there? Please flee from the evil fog, descend to the ground, and
run away.
Spend time with me forevermore in the gardens of dalliance.
Pining for the fjords. Yes, that's what you got. Yeah,
he remembered her name though.
He did not. Eric did not at all.
I'm saying Rand.
Lyda.
I made.
Eric got Lyda Rose.
Oh boy.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I got the end of
Music Man.
The Music Man.
That man did that every day of his life.
All right. Adam, who is your Coplin of the week?
Oh, my Coplin of the week?
Your Coplin.
It's funny, we're talking about it.
Thank you for saying it exactly the same way you do on every podcast.
Sorry.
Oh, you just surprised me with the stunning announcement that you're going to ask me about my Coplin of the week. My Coplin of the week?
He said Kaplan. Like Kaplan Education System.
Kaplan.
It's
funny, we were just talking about it. Mount Samael for the way he died.
Oh. Interesting.
quote,
the guy who had nothing to do with his own death.
Were you happy with him dying? Is that
my
it? You were
Coplin
happy that
is
he's
the
dead?
fact that he lived this life and was like, well, we're gonna have this battle. I set up all these things, and then he just goes, poof.
Mashadar.
Yeah, Mashadar. We don't see it.
Your Coplin of the week is
We don't
Mashadar?
see it.
No, it's Coplin
Mine
of the week
Samael.
is Samael
Adams
for
is
dying to
Samael.
Dying so
Mashadar. Because
stupid.
it's
Okay.
Samael's fault that he died
It
to
is
Mashadar.
his fault. He set that whole thing up.
You're upset at him?
He is. He's
You
upset.
think that he's a problem in these last couple of chapters because he dies?
It's annoying to me. It's my Coplin.
You're upset with... Okay, well, you're gonna... Yeah, you and Shaitan are gonna have to, like, meet with Samael
Dude,
at the
your
edge of the
death
river
sucks.
Styx.
I'm
You would
just
be
saying. And
laughing
Eric's going to be like, see?
hard.
It didn't go...
Oh, welcome forward, great traveler. Don't mind the boatman. By the way, you really screwed up there
You
at
sure
the end.
did.
You screwed your death,
You're like,
man.
where am I going to have this battle?
Could you not have died
Where am I
better?
going to have this battle? I'm going to do it where this thing is around that I should be very, very wary of.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, I
Okay,
totally,
so
yes,
my
I
que-
totally agree.
But you bring up, how much do we think that he knew about that?
I
well,
would,
he's the one that led them there.
I would
He
hope
jumped.
a
He had
lot.
to
Yes.
have an idea of what
And
was
he had his
going
troops
on.
there.
He had to
then
be
that's
there
even
for
more
a
of
reason.
goof.
But is he not dumb enough to know that his Trollocs and his Murdrol would be terrified of being in that place, and they were there, and they were not doing well? So he has a level of stupidity as well.
Well, no.
This seems like a major
Yeah, it's a
bungle.
bungle.
It was a major bungle, and so therefore his death
That's my
wasn't
next band,
so bad.
by the way.
Instead
Major
of
bungle.
Mr.
As opposed to
Bungle?
Mr. Bungle?
Right, as opposed to Mr. Bungle. It's going to be a clown dressed up in a military uniform.
Major bungle.
It's going to be Star Sergeant Pepper meets Mr. Bungle.
This is getting
It's
real
going to
interesting
be
real fast.
amazing.
Yeah, I want to hear
And
this
anybody
music.
who steals that idea,
Yeah,
I've
what is
got
the
it
mu- what
recorded.
is the
Yeah,
music?
we're here on tape.
It's Sergeant Pepper meets Mr. Bungle. It's calliope music and crazy guitar rock.
And a lot of acid.
Anyway,
Classic.
go on. You were saying about...
So he's disappointed in the way he died.
Yep.
And it's Samael's fault for
I am
dying
too.
so
It's
ingloriously.
ridiculous. I don't understand. Mashadar does not move at a fast pace. It's a slow-moving fog. You can
It's
see it coming.
everywhere.
It is everywhere, but he can teleport, basically.
Kind of.
It is everywhere.
But yeah,
So
he could
guess
create a
what?
gateway.
Don't do it there.
Be aware.
So,
be aware.
Here's my take from that is the fact that this thing is really freaking
Oh, yeah,
powerful.
No kidding. Sure.
Who's your Coplin of the week? Because we're not going to relitigate Mashadar.
No.
So who's your
Jeez,
Coplin of the
sorry.
week, Dave?
Mine is the
No,
golem.
you're all good.
Oh,
It's the golem.
yeah.
The golem.
That's a good one.
I do not like this thing. It can like squeeze into like they can just disappear. It killed poor Nalisan or Nalshan or however you say his
there's
name.
6, 9 of them,
And it
3?
killed. I think maybe this is the only one left. Where it came from, who knows? It's like the shadow. Nobody knows but the shadow. And it killed that poor woman whose name I don't remember, who didn't do anything, but we've got her name. It killed a bunch
the
of
head
other
of
people.
The head of the school in.
That's not a woman. That's a man.
No, it's a woman. That's the head of the college.
It killed what's his face, not the woman. She saw the woman.
Oh, you're the philosopher.
Yeah, Herod Fell.
Thank you.
He
Yes,
killed
that's
Herod.
his name.
We think
Yeah.
that was him that killed Herod Fell.
It was a golem. Whether or not it was
There aren't
this one
many.
or not.
Well, we
doesn't-
don't know that it actually stated that it was a golem that killed him. It just that he was killed by something.
We're pretty sure.
Pretty
by the
sure.
way it
But no,
behaved.
he killed the woman whose name you said earlier that we don't remember, and she didn't do anything but have a name of the kinswoman.
The king, yes.
Deirdre?
Killed her and some other very people.
Sure.
That's not it, but yes, it started with a J or something.
No, it's Janira.
Thank you. Like I said, it started with a J. And then he's gone. He kills Nalisan, he kills the other people, and he's gone, and nothing can harm him. Like, it's not necessarily, but
It's a beast.
yeah.
It's a mighty beast.
That's my Coplin. I didn't like it. I don't like it.
I mean, we've heard rumor of these things.
Right.
leading
There's
up
all
to
sorts
this
of stuff in
moment,
this
so
book.
they
In
have-
this book.
Now maybe they'll actually, the stupid women in the castle who didn't think Matt
The
was
Aes Sedai?
the Aes Sedai who thought Matt was making up nonsense about this thing will maybe be like, oh, he killed your friend. maybe he's real. And then they're probably going to be like, no.
They're definitely going to be like, no.
Because they're still going to double down on 11. You saw it. You were making
exactly. Can you draw this for me?
Right, yeah. Eric, who is yours?
Oh, the Sean Chan.
Oh,
I am
take.
so sick of the Sean Chan.
We don't even have any interactions with them.
Go away. This continent doesn't want you.
Oh, they want the continent.
Go away. You're like your relationship with this continent is centuries
You better
old.
hope that no one ever
centuries and centuries old
that you're making right now.
What's
It's
that?
just going to get cropped out. You're going to hear Eric saying this, and people are going to be taking him down on the internet.
He's racist. He's racist.
Those internet people,
against the Sean Chan.
They can invade the cyberspace that, if I choose not to care about, renders.
Wait,
them
what's your
totally
issue
powerless.
with them?
You can only care so much as you care.
You know,
They're
terrible.
Like
I'm just sick of them. Like they have. This is a nation that has their own place, and yet their entire purpose for existing is to invade someplace else.
The Hylene.
It's just, hey, you know what? Stay home. Enjoy your home.
But get
out of here.
Be in the court of Ravens.
You have nothing to do with this.
They're going back to what they.
I do understand what they historically have to do with this. I think we have enough evidence at this point that we understand that they are the descendants of Archer Hawkwing.
But there's a greater claim to that.
Ran away and then decided that they were going to bide their time for centuries until they were long dead, and yet their children's children were going to reap the harvest of their revenge and take it out on our story.
That's what's going to happen when the aliens.
I don't like you.
Us.
Go away.
Guess what? Rand has the greater claim. He is Lews Therin, who is a predecessor
to that Hawkwing.
So, our Coplins of the book. Adam, you went with Elida, Perrin, Irina, Nalessian, Codswain, Fael, Elida, and then you wrapped up with Elida.
Why did you have a problem with Nalessian?
I don't remember.
You jerk. He's dead now. No. How dare you?
So, the only person who you said twice was Elida, and Elida definitely deserves a Coplin of the book here.
She deserves to be.
Yes.
Well, why did you only
Elida,
name
Adam,
mine?
Was your Coplin of the book.
What? Elida's my Coplin. Okay. Yes.
Kudos to you, Adam, for only doubling down twice, though.
I have gone with
You're quite welcome.
Savannah, Fael, Irina, Millie Skane, Nynaeve, Neston Reyes, Two Moons, Mogedion, Podden Fane, and the Golem.
You never.
What did you have a problem with two moons for?
Eric, you're the spice of life.
What?
Would you have What do you have a problem with the Wave Mistress for?
She's a bit cantankerous.
She was argumentative.
She is. Eric's like, I don't like her and anyone else.
She stood in the way of Nynaeve and Egwene and Elaine.
But Nynaeve was one of your Coplins, so she stood in the way of one of your Coplins.
Oddly enough, Nynaeve.
I heard you say it.
So I get to choose who I want out of those individuals.
Oh, Eric gets to make a choice.
Out of all of these people I've chosen.
Please make it be.
Please
make it be.
It's got to be.
She's the worst of the worst.
Oh no, I'm going with Mogedion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mogedion has been floating and hiding behind the scenes and slowly reweaving her plots and
she does
threatening people. And granted, she got spanked by Shaitan.
She went through it.
But I still think she's the type of child who will tell you that no, I've learned my lesson, and not even close.
Not even.
So mine is Mogedion.
That just sounds like a child.
So Dave, your Coplins of the week have been Elida, Perrin, Irina, Nalessian, Codswain, Fael, and Elida.
What? So we know my winner.
So you have Elida.
So you and me. He did something bad.
I know. I don't understand it. Why would I pick him? Weird. There must have been something that happened that week that made me not like him.
Either way. Oh, and then you wrapped up with the
golem.
The golem.
But it's definitely Elida, and I am fine with that all day long. Yeah, and Elida, twice on Sunday.
Yeah. Yep. This book begins with Elida, and she has done nothing but demonstrate that she is not interested in the institution which she has been chosen to lead. She is only interested in herself.
She's stinky, stanky fish loaf.
Whoa. I don't want that in my garbage.
No, you don't. Anywhere.
That sounds like something that
should not be around.
No. What's her face? The Amerlin before her would say.
Oh, Swan.
That sounds like something Swan Sanche would say.
Good. I'm fine with this.
Her phrasing would be a little more elegant.
Probably. Mine was more to the point.
All right. Who leveled up? Dave.
Matt. I'm going with the Matrim Coffin mainly because of his battle with the golem. He figured out how to use that necklace. He saved lives, and he lived to fight another day.
Well, Dave.
Maybe he did. He got buried under rocks.
For this book,
I'm not really
you
sure.
have leveled up Alviarin, Fail, Lan, Samael, Elaine, Gamerflin, the Golem, and Matt.
Yeah. Wait, what was it?
I like to sprinkle the sauce.
What was that third last one?
You chose
Daverfin? Who's
three to go? Dahmer
Flynn. You chose Elaine twice.
He healed Rand and saved his life. That's who Dahmer Flynn is.
Elaine was your Coplin for the book.
I am fine with this, and so is Rand.
Oh, well, I mean, Elaine has...
She's kind of a thing.
Elaine has gone from being a pain in the butt to the White Tower to the Rebels Amerlin seat.
Yeah, that's Egwene, not to be confused with
Elaine. That is true. Elaine has...
She's not become so spoiled. And she, not only that, her personality changed around Matt because of Avienda.
Yep.
Avienda brought her to the light in terms of being redemptive.
Elaine has demonstrated the ability to adapt and to and also she also heard what was going on between Matt and Tylan and was like, that's atrocious. This can't continue.
Right.
She's demonstrated the ability to put others before herself. And to not be so contained in her
It's going to be
very
good for her.
So for that, three cheers to Elaine.
Hip, hip, hooray.
Hooray.
I like it a lot.
Adam, who leveled up for you?
Can I just say that the Bowl of Winds leveled up because we don't know if it works or not?
Well, that's not a leveling up.
Hey,
then. That's you leveling it down.
Didn't he Coplin someone's nose before? So, I mean, why not? This is an Adam pick all day long.
You can't level up the Bowl of Winds and then say that you're leveling it up for a negative. No, you're saying you don't believe, you don't understand whether it works or not.
It took you so long to find me, but guess what? You don't know if I work.
Here I am. I'm waiting for you.
I was sitting here in this bin.
Right. You know what? Let's go with this because this isn't Adam
so long. My wire circuitry has sort of rusted a little bit, and when you plug me in, I'm not going to
wire
work.
circuitry.
My copper circuitry.
Like, hey,
it's a bowl.
Let's see if it works.
It's an electronic device.
It's not electronic. No,
they're gonna plug it in. They're gonna go to plug it in. They're gonna be like, this is USB Mini.
Oh my word.
I don't have the right cord for this. Does anybody have the right cable for this?
They're trying to stick their VHS tape into a DVD
now
player.
I got to go on to Amazon.com and see if they've got this cable from like 8 years ago that's retroactively functional.
I don't even care about Adam's reasoning. I care about the fact that this is an Adam pick.
Freaking Bowl of Winds use USB, and I need USB-C.
Eric
They're
is
so
not letting
sure.
this go.
Oh my gosh.
USB-C.
It's never
3.
ending.
Yep.
Adam, I applaud your pick. I don't even care about the reasoning because it's so
Eric's
arbitrary
so
and
annoyed
obscure.
As he was annoyed with my Samael choice. But I got you around on that one.
Right, it's true. The bees. But
All right.
But I think it though. I do think it's funny that we finally book and a half at least, and now we finally got the Bowl of Winds. Where we're gonna go with it, what we're gonna do with it, I don't know. But at least my stupid butt Golem doesn't have it,
That's
so
great.
there's that.
Well, I mean, it might not work, so they could have just
For
gotten
now.
it. That would have been the great part.
And you know why it wouldn't? Why it wouldn't work,
back.
Adam? Because they don't have the USB to USB-C adapter.
Yeah.
Got to watch out for that. In
You
medieval
need to
times.
have the right input and output. Otherwise, things don't work.
I hope
So you had Pedron Niall, Perrin, Egwene, Matt, Codswain, Mogedion, Min, Samael, and whoever you just named,
The Bowl of the
I can't
Winds.
recall. The Bowl of the Winds.
How could you not recall that? You went on an expose
wasn't-
about
I
it.
wasn't listening.
not a repeat.
So
No.
So who
So
do you
pick one, Adam.
choose? You
Pick
got to
one.
choose somebody between Pedron Niall, Perrin, Egwene, Matt, Codswain, Mogedion, Min, Samael, and the
I
Bowl
would
of
say
Winds.
Matt.
How do we only have that? Oh, 6 chapters, yeah.
Matt leveled up
Yeah.
for you.
All right,
this
I'm
book.
good with this. I'm good with this choice. It's
All
better
right.
than it's better for Eric than the Bowl of Winds.
We will forever think of you as a Matt sympathizer.
I mean,
All right.
Well,
I
yeah.
like the Matt.
He's my
Who
fave.
leveled up for me
Going for
was the Sean Chan.
Ew.
They come in. People have been talking about them in the background.
No
all
one's been
throughout this
talking
book.
about
no one's
Like,
been
hey,
talking
hey,
about them.
there's somebody in the far west that's taken over an entire, I don't know, several
I'd say
cities.
the only
We don't
people
really
whispering
talk
about
them,
that are the
except
sea
they-
I would say
really weird. They wear this
95% of the
strange
land doesn't
chitinous
know these
armor.
folk exist.
I think it's 99%.
There are rumors flying all over the place,
And then
yet-
there's Eric.
And all of these important people know who they are.
Eric's the guy running around
And yet,
whispering.
None of these individuals have had their antenna raised to go, hey, maybe the Sean Chan are going to come back sometime soon.
You want to know why
And
that
here
is?
they are.
It's Elida, who doesn't believe they exist, and she's controlling all that and all the people. Then we got Tower 2, led by someone captured by them, who's so infatuated with Tower 1 and goofball Elida. Then we got Rand, who does know they're coming back. He's carrying around the stupid staff, and he knows they're out there
The stupid staff.
in their land
Nynaeve's a good
before they
level up.
came back.
That's a great.
And he
level
should be
up.
paying more attention to that, but instead, he was locked in a box, beaten, stabbed,
Yep.
nearly died, blah, blah,
Huge.
blah. So there's a lot of distraction.
No, there's ample opportunity to blame the Aes Sedai for this, for sure.
Yeah.
It's easy to do.
Better yet, to blame my Coplin.
I'm
Nonetheless,
sure she'll find some new.
they leveled up this book. They're getting
Because they
their
buried
due.
Matt.
So I had
I really
Alviarin,
hate that.
Dashiva, Fowlane, Nynaeve, Matt, Nynaeve, Elaine, and the
Yep.
Sean Chan.
Well, you got
So,
Nynaeve as yours.
I got Nynaeve as mine, which
Interesting.
kudos to Nynaeve. She finally friggin' gets past her block in this book.
Big achievement.
Yeah.
Big
so
achievement.
absolutely she levels up.
Yeah. I'm legitimately really excited for that going forward. Like, now she's got her superpower.
I'm giving her the Burger King crown.
Okay.
It's a paper crown.
A block known as Lan.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's going to be her block for sure.
Yes, absolutely. She'll find somebody to be
Just like
angry
Perrin's
with.
block is Fael. And Rand's block, his self-loathing. Yeah.
Well,
I hate my superpower.
that wraps up episode 18 and A Crown of Swords. Both are now in the books. Join us for our new book, A Path of Daggers, in episode 19 when we cover the prologue of A Path of Daggers. And until then, may you rest in the Creator's hand.
May you know good hunting, young bull, and cheese to give you many cubs.
Toviendes y Tovias again.